The sun is setting here at Daytona International Speedway, but the sun is rising on the 2019 season for the 3WideRacing League. We are on our pace lap for the opening round of the 2019 RaceKings Cup Series for 3Wide, and it's time to go racing for the Daytona 250. And I have to fix one quick thing. We'll be right back in a moment. All right, now we're all set to go. All right, finishing 100 laps tonight. We've got them gridded up. The 48 and Nathan Velez is on the pole. It's going to be 100 laps of racing. And this is one way to kick off your season with a victory. We saw some incredible racing last night, but the new drafting package is going to be exciting to watch. We're going to get right into the racing here tonight, and I am really excited. If you notice a couple black cars, trading paints and the TGAs were not cooperating this evening due to some incorrect export settings. Those will be solved for next week, so we'll keep you on board of who we're looking at in those black Camaros, and one of them is in that third place position. That's Corey Lindsay in the 00. So apologies for that. Can't fix it on my end, so we'll have to get that sorted out for next week. Pace car out of turn 4. 100 laps to start the season, Finny, and here we go for 2019. From April till November, over 20 races across the season, and we're starting here at Daytona. Pace car pulls off, green flag flies, and we're racing in 2019.
Nathan Velez get a great start. Everyone else funneling through 40-plus cars here tonight at Daytona for 250 miles. This is going to be a long race ahead for a lot of these drivers.
Matt Grunberg in the outside lane, that number 54. He's got Levi Zielinski tucked up behind him. Zielinski performed quite well in the season opening prelude to the 250 last week, but now out of turn number 2, pushing and shoving down the back straightaway. Cars popping out of line. Here we go, Finian, drafting, pushing, shoving. This new package going to keep people on their toes as they get into line with this scrap. The 54 drops to the inside right in front of the number 48 of Nathan Velez, and he'll take the top spot heading into turn 3.
Yeah, and those guys trying to get hooked up and getting going. They see Velez actually looking to the outside, trying to hook up with Levi Zielinski there on the outside as they come to complete lap 1 of 100.
Lap 1 complete. Who's going to lead the first one? Velez does by just an inch over Matt Grunberg. Grunberg fighting back in the inside lane. There's Richard Hines, the number 2. He's sitting right behind the 6 of Levi Zielinski, and there's Chad Brown lurking behind Johnny Thomas in the 83 car. He's running in the inside lane right now with Tanner Sharp behind him in the number 3, returning to 3WideRacing League action in 2019. But on to turn 2, that outside lane pushing hard. There's a 22 of Brace Park on the inside. Maybe trying to back out of this before things get messy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he, probably did look like he backed out there by himself. Might have gotten shoved out, but he's going to relegate himself to the back, and here he might lose the draft also.
Yeah, he's dropping way back, but up towards the front. Nothing has calmed down just yet. Velez in the top spot. He's clear of the bottom, and here comes Grunberg. They slip up in turn 4. Cars all over each other. There's Zielinski pushing and shoving behind, trying to get slotted back in the line.
Yeah, it almost looked like a third lane was about to form there with Richard Hines trying to work the outside. Also looking like the 64 Chad Brown. It looks like he's trying to make it 3-wide here for the middle. And, he's going to sit on it there, but you see Velez, Zielinski there leading the high lane, and they're staying up there.
Nose to tail on the top. So that top line is actually going places right now,
yeah.
Finny. The inside doesn't have as much momentum as I would have thought.
Yeah, and I think, again, with this newer package, too, you can get a hell of a run out of that outside lane. You can honestly do exactly what they do in real life in the Cup Series and ride that outside lane for most of the lap. You don't really need to run the inside lane.
It's going to be double wide the whole race tonight, I think, Finny. And I don't think we're going to see any of the single file action we're used to seeing with this drafting package. This higher downforce, no restrictor plate on these cars. They're just running wide open throttle with all that drag on the cars. It's slowing them down to about 193 miles an hour. Faster. And there's carnage behind. I think a car got in the fence. I think we're going to get out okay. Didn't quite see who it was.
Toyota Puro is up. I think it was Frank Sims.
Was it Frank Sims? Have any right side damage to speak of?
He might have a crinkle or nothing at all. Just a slight scrape on the wall.
I'm sure it was him. I couldn't really get a good look at who it was.
It was definitely a white Camry, but yeah, some car there got checked up out of line, scraped the wall, but whoever it was, it looks like they got off pretty unscathed.
Off into turn 3. We're working lap 4 of 100 now. We had an 80-lap race last night and only had a couple cautions to straighten things out, but these cars much faster, much tighter racing as we head down the order video. We just got to look at here.
Looking at Drew Eisenman and Cameron Rich, they're 20-somewhat seconds behind. And
these were 2 of the cars that had the paint issues, so I apologize for not.
And both of them are teammates. So I thought they were next to each other, but they are way behind the field.
But they're already in trouble here early at Daytona. But up towards the top spot, Velez and Grunberg continuing to fight. Levi Zielinski pushing hard. But this is the thing we saw in the prelude to the 250 last week, though. Zielinski is not afraid to push. Yeah. And that could be a bit sketchy with how hard he's pushing here early in the going. Is it too early to be shoving this hard?
Some might say so, but these cars are relatively stable, so, you know, you can kind of be a little bit aggressive. You just got to kind of know your limits.
There's Tanner Sharp in the number 3. He's on the inside row behind the 83 of Johnny Thomas, the defending Truck Series champion coming into 2019. A lot of momentum for the 83 Johnny Thomas racing car. At that line, Grunberg led by 33 thousandths of a second. 48 takes it back off into turn number 1. And just the drafting package here, it's made such a huge difference in how these cars race. Oh, we got a car on the apron. That's a 53 of Dave Hunt.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. Big separation.
Oh, there's some big damage to one of the cars. I think that's the 63 of Mike Stevens. His nose is torn off. And the whole field is scattered behind. We got to take a good look at what happened here. There's essentially a crash. Oh. There's a car middle 3 wide, and it's turned into the fence. Everyone scattered to miss it. It was
everyone did a great job of trying to avoid it.
It was Simmons in the 84, and there was actually a spin behind. Oh, and this is that was Steve Kettman in the 20 who had spun down to the inside in turn number 1. So he's getting back rolling again, but no caution there.
A crazy start already. Again, caution's admin thrown, so it's not up to the iRacing simulator.
Bloomberg pulls ahead on the inside row. Those 2 Fords in the outside lane actually make that 3 Fords pushing really hard with a Toyota and a Chevy following them.
And also of note too, there you see the pack now only 17 cars strong after that incident there. Really strung out the field out behind the guys behind. They have a shot though. They can still draft themselves up. It's not all hope gone for them. So as long as they can hook up with at least one of the car, they should be able to draft it to the lead pack like we're seeing here. Big run with Frank Sims and Sam Close in the 5.
There's Liam Sheen in the 51 who made the field last week in the prelude to the 250. He's running very well so far early tonight. Got involved in an accident last night and ended up finishing 20th a lap down. But I know he wants to win one of these races. We've seen him in the Virtual Racing League win a race in the Xfinity car, being really aggressive here. Kind of biding his time early, but I do expect to see him climb up through the field further. So you mentioned that front pack here, Finney, and they're still racing really hard. They have not backed down at all. But from behind them, there's really a second group that is kind of trying to form there. That's Jordan McKeeboy in the 14 of Kevin Finn. And then even behind them, there's a duo of the OG, what do they call those cars? 3OG Racing. And then there's another 3OG Racing car, Paul Ross and Chuck Sweeting tucked in behind him.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about the guys. It's everyone getting hooked up with some friends, trying to draft their way back up after what happened. They definitely got a lot of time. Again, we still got over 90 laps left to go in this race, so even if it goes green all the way, although they probably would prefer a caution to group everything back up nicely, they still got a lot of time to catch up to the field.
Smoke right ahead of these guys. Wasn't sure if it was the lap down car or not. I'm trying to see who that is. That is the 20 car. That's Kettman, Stephen Kettman in the 20, who's going a lap down here early. James Simmons off track. I think he ought to afford to avoid creating a bigger issue than necessary. So 38 cars started this race. 37 are running. 36 are on the lead lap. See him.
Yeah, not a good start for the race for this 20. I'm not sure he has a problem or something, but he's on the apron. But here we see for the lead, Velez still working that out to Lane Grunberg on the inside. They're pretty much got control of this race so far. You
got to be getting tired with that spotter talking in your ear the entire time. Grunberg pops out for a second there, but now back in. We've been double wide since the drop of the green flag, and obviously this kind of wears on you mentally. Again, Daytona and Talladega not physical on you, but they will wear you out inside your brain, having to run this close and this fast for so long. And we're continuing to do that down the back straightaway. The outside trio of Fords trying to beat the inside group of the 54 of Grunberg, and then behind that's Corey Lindsay, the black car, then Johnny Thomas in the 83, Tanner Sharp in the 3 behind him.
Yeah, not a whole lot of movement up at the front. People pushing aggressively here and there, but no one's really changed positions up here other than the lines moving up and down. So relatively stable up to the forwards, the front, but toward the midfield is where I think a lot of the passing and action is going on right now. These guys, again, just kind of settling in for the long haul here.
How about Liam Sheen? He's dropped to the tail end of this field. But with the amount of draft that we've seen pick up with these big rear spoilers, he's going to be just fine. Won't have to worry about it. He's got David Wilson, the Talladega Clash winner, tucked in behind him. There's a lap car up the road. And how are they going to navigate this traffic here, Finney? They're already too wide. They're going to have to go 3 to get around them.
Yeah, we saw last night a lot of these guys who were in the truck series, they were able to navigate through some traffic fine. I think that's either Cameron Rich or Eisenman.
Eisenman in the 77. He's in the fence trying to stay out of the way here.
A horrible start for Cameron Rich.
Really, all the Eisen Designs cars.
Yeah, Cameron Rich, our defending champion for the Cup Series. Bad start to round 1 here, already put a lap down. Fortunately, though, he will be in the lead pack. So he won't be stuck out there again, potentially going a second lap down. So he's going to just try to hang in here, hope for a caution. And speaking of cautions, I think we'll take the time. Last night, a lot of cautions, particularly under pit stops, which is we're going to have, if we go green all the way, which I think we have a good chance of doing so, we're going to have at least 3 pit stops, so these guys can go about 30 laps on a tank. 75% fuel here for these guys. So that's a potential to see a caution come out, because last time we saw these guys struggle with it. Again, this Cup cars is a different beast. It could be different, could be fine, but you never know.
Different beast, but just as difficult, if not more, on the brakes, Finny. And I think a lot of that was due to the brake bias and the tire wear, both of which will be relatively similar tonight. These cars are a bit lighter than the trucks, so they might even have more trouble getting down to pace speed than the trucks did last night.
What I'm really hoping, though, is that last night was an eye-opener for a lot of these guys, and they got some good practice coming into pit road in practice or in testing.
We'll see. They didn't learn 3 times last night, so we'll see if they got it figured out this time. Gruenberg and Velez have just been drag racing each other for 13 laps. They see the sun glinting off the quarter panels. This race is going into the night, Finny, and the temperature already relatively low, so the conditions won't factor into this, but we are getting to the point where the visibility is not great. The lights aren't at full blast yet, but the sun is dipping below the horizon, so make sure you're paying attention and listening to your spotter so you don't find yourself in the fence.
Yeah, especially a lot of the glare, too. It's not a whole lot of it, but there is some of it with the sky the way it is and when you see the sun, so you guys gotta be careful with that. Also, make sure, like you said, just gotta make sure, keep your eyes visible until the lights start to come on.
Off into turn number 1 now. Tate Lytle riding behind Richard Hines in the number 2. Everyone seems pretty content right now. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of big shuffles. I think everyone's running really close, but I don't think anyone's really pushing that hard right now in terms of trying to advance positions. We do see Lee Machine and David Wilson swapping lanes back there, but they're just looks like they're just riding for the time being.
And actually, let's take the time to go through the midfield and just kind of check in on how everyone else is doing with catching up to the rest of the field. So it looks like through 20th place, everyone's caught up there. You see this next pack, they're starting to catch up to the field.
Chad Frankenfield in 21st leads this group.
They're actually going 0.6 of a second faster than the pack, so they're going to get there with no time at all. No worries for them.
And there's Paul Ross leading another group with Sweeting, Hanshaw, and a couple others.
And they're also catching with quite a bit of speed as well, so everyone's starting to slowly catch up. Also, a lot of big names stuck in that midfield, too, that are separated from the lead pack.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about not getting a caution. I do expect that we'll see at least one tonight. But you do want to get yourself back up there just in case there isn't. There's always a possibility that they go green to the end. And the way they're racing, I don't see that happening, but you don't want to bank on that, especially with the admin throwing cautions. And we saw last night that they are not willing to throw a caution for every little thing. They'll only throw them if they're absolutely necessary. So that could mean that a normal spin that would normally trigger iRacing's caution code might not trigger one tonight. So you have to be very aggressive and not lose those positions. All right, so we're 16 laps in. Looks like Gruenberg and Velez are just kind of at a stalemate up in the front. Zielinski riding in second. What about the engine temperatures for guys like Kevin Giadersic, who's just been riding in line this whole time? You maybe got to keep an eye on those gauges to make sure that you're not overheating the car tucked this far in deep in the field.
Yeah, and I think that's why we see a lot of the swerving around that we see in the straightaways. The guys just trying to see what's going on up ahead and be also just keeping the car cool. It seems like everyone backed off a lot from those opening laps. Everyone's really giving each other space now. Just kind of settling in. So
there's that glare you were talking about earlier. Yeah. We're on top of the roof with polarizing lenses on these cameras. You're not going to get that glare, but the eyes of the drivers are going to be full of it. Now to the line, lap number 17, you were saying.
Yeah, so I think engine temps shouldn't be too much of a worry. These guys really aren't pushing that much because there really isn't nowhere to push. I mean, you could try to push up towards the front, but you're going to kind of stall out and just use up your stuff here.
David Wilson running the high lane there out of turn number 2. You're just getting some fresh air on the nose of his car as they rocket down the back straight. Look at how separated they are, Finny. That's really interesting to take note of. They're leaving each other lots of space, at least on the straightaways. There's a whole lane up the middle, and if someone was brave, they could try to shoot that gap. I don't think we'll see that maybe towards the final 20 laps or so.
Oh, absolutely. No, final 20 laps, you're going to start to see 3 wide. But yeah, again, now, you're in the lead pack. There's nowhere to really go. No one else is really moving around. Everyone's just playing it safe because you want to have this car running to the end.
I'm just really looking at some of these strong cars up towards the front, and I'm just looking at that 54 Gruenberg. We know he's good at every racetrack, and he started off last night very strong with the 5th place finish in the Truck Series. He's going to be a contender this year, and he's showing it already. I don't think restrictor plate races are, well, actually, I should just call them super speedway races now. I don't think they're as much of a crapshoot as they used to be. I think there's a lot of driver mobility and strategy involved in getting yourself to the front. Grunberg's been having issues all night with his internet. Hopefully it lasts the night. Hasn't been too bad, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of the worst places to have internet issues because you lose all the draft that you have coming off of you, and it just gets really hairy and sketchy when you end up in the middle of a pack while you're flashing out, but it looks like it's corrected for him.
So here's the lead pack right now. They're at the start-finish line. Here is a pack led by Race Clark, the number 22. There's a pack of about, what, 4 or 5, maybe 6 cars here?
Yeah, and they're
really...
actually
about to get themselves lapped, so they got to pick up the pace here a bit.
Actually, it looks like their pace, again, I've got to keep on getting consistent laps in for data, but it looks like they are lapping faster than the leaders. So as long as they can keep doing that, they can avoid going a lap down, but they are 30-some-odd seconds behind the rest of the fields. They got a lot of time to make up in this race.
I think they just need to stay organized and they'll be just fine, but if they start racing each other, they can put each other at risk of going a lap down. Closing in on the 20% mark of this race, and you see now that's Velez dropped up right in front of Zielinski. And those two in the outside lane, they've been really good working together, but how about the inside? That's Corey Lindsay in the black 00 tonight, following Matt Gruenberg, and they've done a good job on the inside too. They haven't really pushed the issue, and sitting right behind is Johnny Thomas in the 83. We know he's strong, we know he's aggressive, and he's a champion, and he's also won at Daytona before, but not in this race. So I think he wants to get himself a victory and start off the season strong.
And there you see up ahead, Velez and Zielinski go to the bottom. So first change we've seen in a while in this lead pack. Looks like they've had enough running on the top side. Now interested in seeing what Richard Hines and who is that behind?
Tate Lytle.
Tate Lytle. Yeah, Tate Lytle in the 56 had a good finish last night in the truck series. He's trying to now push Richard Hines to the front. Also, gotta say, great day for Ford. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now.
Actually, we can take a look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the moment.
I thought Lytle was in a 4 for a second.
I did too. It's fine. But look at the run they get in this outside lane, and this is what we were talking about last night, is which lane do you prefer, which lane do you want to be in at the end of the race? And my answer has always been, I'd much rather be in the outside, because you have a lot more control in terms of pinching the guy down. If you're on the inside, you're just along for the ride at that point. Big gaggle there at the front. Hines and Lytle pushing really hard, and these guys are not teammates, so there's no alliances here, but they have to be careful not to wreck each other in front of the field.
Yeah, Lytle pushing very hard on the back end of the field. There you see the effect of it. He got very far ahead of the rest of the guys on the outside lane.
But now they're going to get just eaten alive. There's Richard Lafferty in the 8 car. He gets right back up to their bumper, so if the 2 wants to get down, he's got to do it now, because the 48's coming. And he'll choose to stay in the outside lane. And there's a smoker. That's another car down on the apron. That is Brandon Kluster's in the 94. And I think he has come to pit lane and must have spun leaving. So the 94 really struggling tonight early in the going here. So the packs are starting to close back up to each other. We haven't. It looks like that pack with Race Clark has actually been losing some more ground. They're 35 seconds back now. So they are going to have to hope for a caution or some pit strategy to break up this. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves a lap down. And then if the caution comes out, you're in real trouble. So those guys have some work to do. And here comes some pit stops right as I said that, Finian. And cars coming to pit lane and trying to grab one as they rocket down to the inside. There we go.
And it looks like everyone got there pretty okay.
Yep, no drama tonight. You see in the background there is the 4 of Luis Almaso in the bright green car. He's the GoDaddy paint scheme. He is into his stall. Paul Ross is in here as well.
Yeah, so I think these are guys they're coming in because again you can go 30 laps on fuel, so you would be 10 laps short if you were to add all of it up. So I think these guys are just coming in early here. These guys can still go another 10 laps, so I'm kind of curious, will this bring down more people, or will we see these guys continue to run out a few more laps?
I think you can play this race so many different ways. It looks like we're going to go green for a while, and again, you can bet, we're going to see some more drivers pit. Here comes Lytle and the whole host of other race cars with him. This is where it gets scary here, Fitting, when so many people come to pit road. Looks like everyone's going to make it through this time without any incident. That's a stark contrast to last time.
Yeah, I was going to say, everyone did a fantastic job there, especially considering how many cars... Ooh, big trouble getting into the pit stop.
The 15 car gets turned.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him.
And he's going to lose a lot of time here.
And that's kind of due to the nature of a big group like that pitting. Had trouble getting to his pit stall.
Okay, and the back straightaway is a busy place right now. Giadricic and Sam close.
Yeah, Richard Hines got, I think, is that Hines? Yeah, he got forced out of line there. He's on the bottom. Not sure what happened to him. He's way off the pace now.
Yeah, he is way off the pace. I'm not exactly sure what.
Did he blow an engine? He's slow.
Clutching, at least.
Because he shouldn't be out of fuel. Huh?
It did sound like he was out of fuel, doesn't it? It was sputtering. That's interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean...
He's just coasting. It looks like he is out of fuel. How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, 75% fuel, that should take him to 30 laps,
You would think, but I guess not.
Okay.
Anyway, Jordan McKeeboy still out on track. Let's see what cars have not pitted here. Looks like the only car left is Richard Hines, and he's going to pull in. So the whole field is now cycled out. Just have to wait for him to get back to the start-finish line to resort the order here. But I guess the fuel window a lot shorter than we were expecting, Finian. And here comes the leaders, Matt Gruenberg and Tanner Sharp now to the second spot. And he's going to look to the outside lane. He'll pick up Richard Lafferty with him. And right behind is Tate Lytle in the 56 as they get grouped up on the outside. And here is Rusty Webb in the 88 coming up the inside with Justin Kolb in the 52 and Corey Lindsay in the 00 pushing on the inside row.
Yeah, Sharp now trying to take the lead on the outside. He's got the 8 of Lafferty in behind him, trying to push him up to the front.
So definitely to see another couple sets of pit stops spinning. The caution would easily let you get to the end, but a couple drivers maybe try to stretch it to the lap 25 point just to kind of make it into even 25 lap segments, but not able to do it here early. But Giadricic has actually taken the lead after all this, and Tanner Sharp is now sitting in second right in front of Lafferty. And where is Gruenberg? He's back in 6th place now. He's getting eaten alive by all these cars around him. There's Liam Sheen taking over the 5th spot from him. He'll drop back again, though, as he has no help.
Yeah, I'm curious. We'll see. Pat Franco, I see he's in 23rd and got back to 24th. He got the short end of the stick. He got turned around. Although he's only 10 seconds behind the field, and he's hooking up now with Luis Almaso and Brent Miller, so they can try to draft back up, and all the cars seem pretty fine and good shape. Yeah, I think his car didn't have any damage onto the nose, so he should be fine speed-wise, but you see him letting back off the throttle, maybe trying to get organized with this group. How about back up here? We kind of started to single file outfitting. I didn't think this was going to happen, but it looks like now that everyone's gotten under their pit stops under their belt. Yep. And as you say that, line's forming up yet again. Here comes Tanner Sharp and Lafferty on the outside yet again, trying to take the lead.
And that is 20 of Steven Kettman going another lap down. This will put him 2 down. We have one driver 4 laps down. That's Mike Stevens in the 63. James Simmons is DNF on the night. It's been kind of a wild one here early, Finian. Not a ton of shifting and under the green flag conditions, but the pit stops kind of shook things up a bit. And I saw in the background, I saw Levi Zielinski jump up to the outside lane, and he has found Nathan Velez once again, and Tate Lytle. So they kind of just invert the order they were in before. That's how they're running now, just a couple cars back from the front. And Liam Sheen in 9th place. He's right ahead of these guys. He's put himself in a great spot here if he can just stick here for the rest of the race.
Yeah, so it looks like in the lead pack we've got about 20 cars still, for the most part.
Giadricic has fallen back. That the black car there, I believe, is that Cameron Rich? Yes, it is. It's the 17 car. So Cameron Rich is 1 lap down, trying to get his lap back from these leaders. But here's Tanner Sharp with a big run from the 8. Oh, whoa. He gets tagged there in the corner panel. That's a very scary place to do it, right in the entrance of turn number 3.
Yeah, you can see that outside lane, because of that checkup, lost a lot of momentum. They're going to have to build back up.
But you just see how quickly things change. And there's Cameron Rich jumping to the outside lane. We're going to be 3 wide here. Looked like it for a second. Not quite, though. Tanner Sharp's going to drop behind the 17 and try to push him forward and back onto the lead lap.
It's Cameron Rich barely on the lead lap. Hoping he stays like that. Although unfortunately his problem is that he can be in front of these guys, but he can't get away from them. So I think he's just trying to do whatever he can. They're actually pulling away quite a bit here. Tanner Sharp giving a great shove.
Jordan McKeeboy about to go a lap down. This lap traffic has been a little bit sketchy tonight. They're going to have to figure out how to make this track a bit narrower.
Yeah, they've been catching quite a lot of lap traffic again with that earlier incident.
Which is funny because we only have 3 cars that are not on the lead lap. It just seems like we've been passing one every couple laps. Everything was okay there.
Yeah, that was really starting to die off there. First few cars on the inside now clear.
I'm telling you, Tanner Sharp is looking really racy right now in that number 3 car. Mountain Dew on that Glory Motorsports car.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas just made a move to the outside lane. He's trying to move up now.
And he'll pick up teammate Richard Lafferty. I'm going to assume they're teammates, then we got the same number font. And bear with us as we get used to all the new teams for 2019. This is our first season. Oh, I saw a big puff of smoke, Finian, out of turn 2. I don't see anything wrong. I thought someone might have blown a motor, but I think we're okay. Off into turn number 3. We're 30 laps into this race. How about a SimTV sound surge? Welcome back here. Tanner Sharp has taken the lead. Johnny Thomas has moved his way into second place. He's going to go to the outside lane with Richard Lafferty following, and there's Tate Lytle getting himself back into the mix. Our leaders from before, Giadricic and Matt Grunberg, sitting 4th and 6th in line. And Kevin Giadricic drives down to the inside lane and looks below the yellow line. Can't pass down there until the white flag.
I was going to say he's about 68 laps too early there until he can use that rule to his advantage. But yeah, so far having a great run here in 7th place. Sorry, 6th, now 5th. But yeah, doing a great job in that 42 car. Hopefully he can do a little better. Hopefully he can get a win. Because he was really fast, one of those really fast drivers from the developmental series.
Corey Lindsay in the 00, who started up towards the front in 3rd place, is now down in 17th. So he's dropped out of this lead pack. Off into turn 3. We're at the 1/3 point in this race. Finian, I don't think we've had a clear driver that's the quickest, but I would put my money on either the 3, the 54, or potentially the 48, Velez. I know Velez has dropped back to 8th place, but he's still very competitive, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him up at the front at the end.
Yeah, honestly, looking down the order, cars that I think have a good shot of getting the win just out of the driving that they've done so far, I would say there's a 3, the 42, the 83, the 8, the 54, 48, like we said. I'm trying to look a little bit further down the order, but Levi Zielinski, he's back in 17th, but still within a good position. So I think those guys in particular, I think they got a good shot at winning this race.
Look at Johnny Thomas in the outside lane. He's got teammate Lafferty pushing from behind off into turn 3. Not as much momentum up there as we saw with Zielinski and Velez, though. I think the 6 and the 48 work really well together, and I think you might need a combo like that to make that outside lane work as they're dropping back now as Tanner Sharp and the lap down car of Cameron Rich push that inside row and drag the 42 of Giadricic along. Liam Sheen, again, we mentioned him earlier, just made it into the show. He's lurking back there in 9th place right now. Sam Close in the number 5. And you can throw Paul Ross in there, too. Those 3WideRacing cars, weren't they really far back before? They got themselves right back up into the mix.
Yeah, at least he actually just put himself in the high lane. So he opted to go on the outside lane. I think he's seeing that they're starting to move to the front. But yeah, look at Paul Ross, starting 32nd all the way up to 9th. So great job there. Great racecraft there, able to get up into 9th.
This race is just ticking along, extremely quick paced right now. No cautions so far yet tonight. Actually, let's take a look here. No cautions, 13 lead changes. And that's going to be 14 here shortly if the 83 gets to the top spot at the line. Not quite this lap, but he is looking really strong. I know he's hungry. How about another car that we haven't talked about a whole lot yet? Is Chuck Sweeting in the 26. He's got SimTV on that car. That car's been cursed in the past, but he's got some slight front end damage.
It looks like he had a little bit of a curse or something. He's got some nose to his front end.
But Kevin Finn in the Crown Royal 14 Ford Fusion, he's riding in by him.
That's a nice looking car right there.
Sure is. Let's get a better look at it here on the back straightaway. That purple and white car peeking out of line in the middle of your screen. There is Kyle Hanshaw in the 46. How about this guy, Finney?
Yeah.
I know he's looking forward to specific events on the schedule this year, but we know he's very capable at a racetrack, especially like Daytona. That was Velez dropping out of line. That seems early, but he's dragging a bunch of cars with him, including Levi Zielinski and, whoa, a couple... that's Corey Lindsay, the 00, that was pretty hot into pit road, but I think they got it wore down in time.
Yeah, so these guys can go, based off the last one, they can go 22, 23 laps, I think, as opposed to what we previously thought was 30.
And a lot of that's due to the new package, Finney, and the higher drag. The restrictor plate is winding up the motor more. They're turning more RPMs. They're going a little bit faster even. So all those things, I really think that the issue is that they're running the same RPM, but they got more drag and more downforce on the car, so that's going to increase the fuel consumption by a lot more than we were expecting. So all the notes we had for the season, we can kind of throw out the window right now. It seems like the fuel is going to be a lot harder to come by this season. 20 laps at Daytona on, you know, a full or a 75% tank of fuel is still really short.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also too. We haven't seen the package in real life yet. They still haven't gotten to Talladega, so I think we might see something similar there with them going only going about 30 laps.
Caution!
Let's put the 40 and caution out on the track.
Jonathan Cogswell down in turn number 1. That's just past the start-finish line.
Yeah, I'm sure that in that group that just pitted with a few of the front runners, Velez. Actually, you know, that actually is not too bad for them because they didn't go a lap down yet, so they'll be safe on that part. But yeah, not sure what happened to the 27.
Yeah, trouble for the 27 early here tonight, and this is big damage. That car will probably be irreparable. Let's go take a look at what happened to the 27, our first caution on the evening. And
oh, it looks like he was also with the Kivoy.
Yep, if we could find here's the 21 of the Kivoy. So there's the 21 that we're looking at here, and there's the 27. Oh, the 75 of Frank Sims got in the fence and tagged the 21. Oh, big hit for the 27 car.
Yeah.
Wow. Big hit there.
Yeah, tough break for all three, although McKeever got a decent amount of damage out of all that, some slight damage to his nose.
So let's go back again and maybe find an onboard here with the 27, just an innocent victim of this.
Yeah, so you see Frank Sims there going a lap down, everyone working on by him. And just clipped the wall, and around he went.
Nothing you could do.
Yeah, nothing he could have done.
And nothing the 21 could have done either. And we'll ride on board the 56 of Tate Lytle as he drove by this.
He got very lucky. You'll see this happen right behind him there. You see the 21 and the 27. You'll see Frank Sims coming to picture there. Whoa.
Oh, man. Wow, look at the air that 27 car got. The caution out here early. Well, I guess you could call it early. We're almost halfway through this race. Yeah. The race has been going by so fast, but trouble here early. And for the 27, the 21, and the 75 of Frank Sims.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see
split decisions here. Interesting.
I am actually very shocked that that they stayed out. Because they can't go. They can't go that much longer.
Well. Yeah, that is actually.
They're not going to be able to go. I mean, maybe 10. They're not going to be able to go.
I think what they're going to do here, Finian, is they're going to stick to their strategy. I think they assume this race is going to go green as much as possible. They're going to save a bit of fuel now. They're going to go and hit their number that they need to hit, and then they'll just continue pitting exactly when they need to pit, and they're not going to let the cautions get in the way of that strategy. I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's possible that. You know, these guys, this might not do them any good here, Finney. We have 60 laps to go, so what's that, another 2 pit stops? Either way?
Yeah.
So these guys will have to make 2 pit stops regardless anyway, I believe, right?
Yeah. So the teammates for one sim, they're Kevin Djadricic and Matt Grunberg, they're going to stay out. Remember last night we saw Grunberg and, was it Grunberg? Yeah, it was Grunberg and McKeevoy that stayed out. And we're trying to do a different strategy compared to the rest of the field, so they are doing something yet again. Cameron Rich is going to be happy. He saw the caution come out. He gets his lap back. Yeah, so again, while we have a moment to talk about it, we'll explain better the scenario with the black cars here tonight. For some reason, on certain systems, and it doesn't seem to happen to everybody, is if you don't save the TGA files that make up the paint schemes, if you don't save them with very precise settings, they just refuse to show up, whether it be through trading paints or through direct TGA copying and pasting in the iRacing paints folder. So I did everything I could tonight to get these to work, but these teams are going to have to resubmit the schemes with different TGA settings to get them to work. For some reason, the real question mark is Drew Eisenman in the 77, because this car worked fine last week. Yeah.
And I'm assuming an update to trading paints or something maybe even an iRacing change has prompted this car to not load correctly. So don't know what it is, but I can't fix it, so I'll have to let these guys fix it for themselves for next week.
Yeah, we'll try to get it sorted out for next week. Fortunately, too, because that 77 has a beautiful paint
Dude, the
scheme.
Eisen Designs cars, and what stinks is that it's a 17 car as well, Cameron Rich, and I think there's a couple other cars that are Eisen Designs cars as well. All have gorgeous liveries on these things. And if you want to see them, you can go watch last week's Prelude to the 250. That was a great race as well, and those cars are mighty pretty. So hopefully next week we'll have those back up. But again, nothing I can fix on my end. They have to be saved with different settings on the TGA side of things. So without the original source file, I can't fix that for myself. So hopefully that'll be sorted out by next week. Kevin Jadrosich, though, leads this race as the sun has set, finishing a beautiful night of racing here at Daytona so far. 1 caution slow the progress, and 14 lead changes. 1 yellow for 3 laps.
Yeah, fairly quiet race so far, and they actually can go back on board with 42. Nothing but air.
Saving fuel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, kind of needs to save as much as you can, because these guys are on a different strategy. They're gonna have to come in very soon after the green flag comes out, and that's gonna be kind of sketchy. Because remember, only they have to pit. The other 20-some-odd guys, the other 20, 30 guys behind them don't. So they not only have to make sure that they're in a position to pit, they have to make sure they're on the inside lane.
Again,
otherwise they risk running out of fuel.
Again, I think their strategy here is that they're just going to try to hit their number. I don't think they're paying attention to the cautions. I don't think they're paying attention to any kind of strategy relating to the cautions. They had a plan to start this race. They knew when they were going to pit, and they said, all right, prompting any pit road closings, we're just going to run our strategy. And honestly, there's something to be said about this, being stubborn about this here. This could work out depending on how things end up playing. I mean, if we go green to the end, this could certainly be fine for them. So we'll see how it plays out, but I mean, typically I'm a guy that likes to pit when we're under yellow, but it looks like Grunberg thinking about going to pit road.
I was gonna say I'll be surprised, because if one of them pits between the two of them, they're kind of screwed for lack of a better word, because they have to bank on coming. Well, they're teammates, so they're definitely gonna come in together, and then they alone they have to make sure that they're keeping up pace with the pack.
Okay, so far tonight we've raced 42 laps, and we've had 1 caution slowing the progress. The 1 sim cars, the 54 of Grunberg and the 42 of Kevin Jadrosich, lead this race. The other 1 sim car, the 21 of Jordan McKeeboy, has crash damage. I think he has retired his car. Yeah, it looks like he has. The field rolls their way through turns 1 and 2. Again, if you're new here to Sim TV, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of any future streams. We have 6 on tap for this week, and this is our 2nd of the week. Tomorrow night is Fuel Host Venom Cup Series action from Motegi. And while Wednesday's off, Thursday is Scars Ferrari Challenge action from Bathurst. Friday, VRL from, I don't even know where VRL is this week, but a racetrack. And ORL is at a racetrack. So we'll double check those for you. Chicago and Richmond. In that order for Friday and Saturday night. Coming back to the green flag here, Finney, and look who's going to be taking over the lead once these top 2 guys pit. The 48 of Velez and the 6 of Levi Zielinski. Very strong on the outside row at the initial first 20 laps or so. I think they'll get hooked right back up and continue that dominance.
Also, newer guys to the front, to the 52 of Justin Kolb and the 53 of Dave Hunt. They were cycled out into 5th and 6th in lines. We'll see what those cars can do with some new track position.
Coming back to the green flag, pace car is going to pull off just under 60 laps to go here in the season opener for the 2019 3WideRacing League RaceKings Cup Series. The 42 of Jadrosich leads them back down. Green flag flies, racing again here at Daytona.
A great start there, timing it to perfection there. Grunberg's going to be able to slot in as everyone else gets started underway.
Tanner Sharp, watch out for this 3 car. He's been aggressive all night making moves. I think we'll see more of the same. How about Justin Kolb running in 5th place right now? That bright magenta colored 52 is looking pretty racy. How about the 48 and 6? They look like they're going to jump to the outside. So does Grunberg. Throws a block. 3 wide down the back straightaway for the lead.
I'm actually surprised he tried to go to the outside. I thought they were just going to try to stay connected on the inside. But there you see change for the lead already on the back straightaway.
They just blew right by them like they were stopped in the 6 and 48 takeover, lead off into turn number 3, and they're going to stay in the outside lane for now. And Grunberg still split 3 wide with Tanner Sharp on the outside. Dave Hunt, and Sharp's going to try to slide right back down. Dave Hunt has to get off the throttle, and the 39 and Wilson checks up to make that work. And look at Grunberg charging, trying to get that inside lane running again on the inside with Jadrosich following.
Got a 6 in the 48, both for Rebel Racing. They're leading the race on the outside at the moment. I was going to say, Grunberg and Jadicic, they need to make sure they stay on that inside line, because if they get caught out on the outside, it's going to be a bad night for them.
The teammate thing is going to be a good place to be, especially when you got the 6 of Zielinski pushing. We know he's not shy with that bumper, but just keep an eye. If that 48 gets any rear end damage, that could jeopardize not only those 2 cars, but the rrest of the field if they get hooked up. We saw that happen last night. But look at Tanner Sharp again in the outside lane. He's been so aggressive. I wonder if he'll take them 3 wide here.
I don't know. I think I would say it's a little bit too early for that, but if you notice the counter, we're just about at halfway. And remember, for 3 wide, points are awarded at halfway, similar to the stage system in NASCAR. 10 for first and 1 for 10th. These guys, and we saw a caution leading up to the halfway as guys were racing out for those points. And I expect to see something a little bit similar. If it's a caution or not, that's left to be seen.
Matt Grunberg jumps to the lead on the inside. But now the pushing and shoving is really intensified here, and we look from the top of the grandstands here. Look at the runs that these guys are getting, but nowhere to go with cars in front of you. You just got to give them a boost, and look at them climb the banking into turn 3.
2 sets of Fords, 2 different teams in the inside and outside lane.
Kyle Hanshaw's view. This is the gyro cam on board the 46. Almost 30 degrees of banking here at Daytona, and you feel like you're climbing a mountain off into the corners here. All that banking lets them go over 195 miles an hour into the corners.
I'm actually kind of curious if Grunberg and Jadicic have enough fuel to make it to lap 50 before they have to come into pit.
I think that's what they're going for, Phineas. Maybe the stage points as well. So they got to go another 5 laps, maybe 4.5. I hope they're good, because otherwise it's going to make a mess.
Only they know how much fuel they have, and only they know when they need to pit. And actually, well, big disconnect. Where on earth is the rest of the pack?
They dropped back.
Something happened.
No, I think they just kind of got separated out. Maybe just taking their time back here. I don't think we saw anything transpire. It looks like they just kind of dropped out with different strategies here. But up towards the front, the action's still raging here. 4 to go to the end of the stage. Points on the line. We know how much they matter. 1 point can mean a huge difference at the end of the season. And you're going to want to go for them now when they're easy to get when you're this close to the front.
But you see the second pack, the rest of the field, they're cycling out behind them. They're kind of out of this for now. And I'm kind of curious, does anyone dare to go 3 wide here for the points? It's a big risk, especially because, you know, those points really mean very little in the grand scheme of things. You want to, again, make it to the end. That's the grand prize.
3 to go in the stage. Grunberg continues to lead, and this looks exactly like the start of the race, except swap the 42 with the 00 of Corey Lindsay, who now rides around in 32nd place, 1 lap down. So not sure what happened to the 00, but certainly not running as well as he was earlier in the night. Oh, there's some smoke out of turn 4. I think that's unrelated, though. I think it was just net code there or something. Coming to 2 to go in the stage, and this is where I think the pushing and shoving is going to get really intense. We could see a caution, an unplanned caution here coming in a moment.
And how about Kyle Hancher? I just noticed him, 4th car on the inside lane. He's having a good run right now up here in the front.
He's in the stage point battle right now. He's sitting in 7th, could climb to 6th if he could just get clear of the 3 car on the outside. A big push from the 42 to the leader. It's right on board with Jadicic here. 1 sim cars teamed up on the inside. Do they have enough fuel to get to the end of this stage? Looks like they will. They haven't bailed yet.
They're going to make it around another lap and a half to get to the line. That's again, they also have to make it another lap around to get into the pit. So, again, very tight on fuel for these 2.
Coming to lap number 50 to start the final lap of the stage. The 48 and 6 in the outside line. They've got Tanner Sharp behind. They're going to need a couple big shoves to get alongside the inside row.
Here we go, last lap for halfway. Once we complete lap 50, the points will be awarded.
Johnny Thomas and Richard Lafferty coming to pit road here, Finian. So they're planning out on beating the stage here, and they'll get themselves some track position here in a moment. But 48 and 54 drag racing now side by side, coming back to the checker, or the green checkered, for the stage points. And look at the run they get on the outside lane. They took them a couple of minutes to get it, but the 52 chain reaction up the row. The 42 and 54 will have a run at this coming to turn 3 and 4.
He's going to get it. It looks like the 52 and the 42 are very strong on the inside.
I don't think they're going to have a big enough run here on corner exit. The 6 is going to give him a shove coming back to the line. The 50... is he out of fuel? I think he's out of fuel. The 54 out of fuel coming to the line. Here they come, 3 wide for second place. Velez will get the stage points, and there's the caution for the stage. Everyone's scattering to not wad themselves up. The halfway break here at Daytona, and that's why the 8 and 83 had come to pit road, Finian, because they stayed on the lead lap, and they're going to get the track position here as a result of that. So looks like Velez wins that stage by 0.2 of a second. Let's go back and quickly take a look at that stage finish.
And you see coming up before there, you see Grunberg around on field did a great job trying to get out of the way. Cole, how about that in the 52 to the inside of Javricic. He will finish third.
Wow.
I think either third or fourth.
Got P3.
Yeah, I did get P3 over Tanner Sharp.
Great result there for the 52. So they'll catch the pace car, come to pit road, and now you can really just play this like you did the first half of the race. So how did that strategy fare? I worry about the 54, Finian, because he has to coast all the way around, and he might have to make a tow here. He's certainly going to lose a lap or 2 or 3. So he was just short, but teammate Javricic able to come down pit road. I think pits were closed, so he'll get an EOL penalty for that. So that didn't work. I guess it kind of worked out for the 42.
Yeah, it worked out for the 42. Just came up short. I was short by a couple hundred yards for the 54, and that's gonna kind of hurt. Yeah, that was kind of all for naught, and he has the potential of going a lap down here.
They caught the pace car now, and obviously I think you're going to pit. I think, well, actually, I mean, let's see, 50 laps to go. You said you could go 21, 22, 23?
Yeah, you can't go 25.
So you're still a 2-stop race.
Yeah, actually, Bo, by the time we go, oh boy, it's going to be close. By the time we go back green, it's going to be around lap 55, so it's 45. So you got to go 23, 22. So it's just at the end of the field, and that's again assuming we go green all the way, which we might not, but we've had pretty good run so far. So I think they can make it to the end from here on one more stop.
That's
it's gonna be pushing.
It's gonna be close. But that would assume that they're not pitting here, or they are pitting here.
That's assuming they pit here.
Okay.
You have to pit here to do that. You can stay out.
So I assume to see everyone's gonna come to pit road here, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, and here they come.
Yeah, because it's already close to the limit as it is, even if you pit here.
So what about Lafferty and Johnny Thomas? I mean, they kind of put themselves in a box here a bit. I mean, they didn't have a lot of track position before, so maybe it won't hurt them to come in anyway, but if they wanted the strategy to work out for them, they're going to have to stay out.
Yeah, well, they've laid their bed, and they have to kind of...
They've made their bed and they have to lay in it.
Damn it, this is the second time I remember earlier, I forgot what a race...
Hand, shoes, and horse grenades?
Yeah. I remember what...
Throwing a shout out to podium.
And there we see the 54. Not sure if he made it to the pit. Actually, no, I think...
No, he's definitely... He's 2 laps down already.
Yeah, he's towing. Tough break for him.
Tanner Sharp's going to win the race off of pit road. A couple changes in terms of the position order here. We'll let that kind of sort itself out. You see everyone kind of jumping around here, so we'll pull that away for a moment. But it looks like Lafferty and Johnny Thomas are going to stay out.
Yeah.
And maybe try to make this work. They're going to be even closer, though, than the rest of the field. Only by about a lap or 2, but that's going to mean a lot later tonight. Give Johnny Thomas around, see if we can key him up and talk to him real quick. Not around? How about Tanner Sharp in the 3? Hey, Tanner Sharp, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Sorry to pull you away from whatever conversation you're in. I hope it wasn't too important. But sitting 3rd right now, you're in a great spot. You've been really aggressive so far, but looks like you're in a great spot to win this thing. The front 2 guys pitted a lap or 2 early. Are you guys going to try to one-stop it from here, or what's the strategy?
There is no strategy because once the green flag drops, everything gets flip-flopped. So we're just going to see how this split plays out. We've been taking 2 tires all night long, and it's been really working out. We've been checking tire wear, so that's why we've been taking 2 tires. And if anything, we're taking left side tires because they are wearing more than the rights. So we've been just sticking to that strategy. And with a 75% fuel load, you know, it makes for a quick pit stop. So looks like we got some Johnny Thomas boys up here right now. Team Blurry, this number 3 Mountain Dew. Arrow's been really fast all night and looking to get Daytona victory, even though I've been here since the inaugural season.
All right, well, Tanner, I got to ask you this question, though, is how is this new drafting package working at night? I think this is the first time that we on SimTV have seen this package raced here. A lot more fun from the driver's perspective?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like driving them Xfinity cars where you can really suck up, but you really got to be patient, got to be on and off the throttle just a little bit. There's been quite a lot of times I've been about half throttle, three-quarter throttle just riding, and that seems like it'll work out the best. This is probably the best drafting package since probably 2014 here on iRacing or before that. So this has been the best drafting package since, and the grip is actually very good here tonight since the track. Obviously, it's nighttime. The track's cool, so it's helping with the wheel spin. So it's been fun out here.
All right, Tanner, we'll let you get back to work. Good luck out there. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. They pulled me up for an interview.
We didn't pull you back yet. Sorry, Finion's working on it. You're good. All right, there we go. Okay. Yeah, Finion's mouse is he's on a laptop over next to me and is not working too great. Is it Bluetooth? That's why.
No, this mouse isn't. I've been using it for a few years. I think I need to replace it.
I think you need to replace your laptop, too.
Oh, yeah, I want to throw it out the window.
I was going to buy a new phone, and then it was like on its deathbed, and then it just started working fine. I haven't had a problem all week, so...
My laptop's gotten worse ever since I've been looking for new laptops.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I shop phones on the cheap, so I have an Asus Zenfone 3 laser, and been looking for a new phone around the $200 range, and not a whole lot good stuff out there right now. There was when I bought my last phone, and couple of years it got kind of crappy, so looking for a replacement. Can't find anything worthy, so I'll wait a couple more months and see what else comes out.
But one to go here, they're going to get the restart on lap 56. Lafferty taking the outside lane, Thomas going to the inside, and everyone else sorting themselves out behind.
Wow, okay, I love this new drafting package. It's a lot of fun to watch. The drivers have a lot more fun doing it. But it does have the side effect of burning fuel like crazy, so the EPA is all over this. And don't tell your animal lover friends about this, because they will hate everybody. I know it's virtual race fuel, but...
I mean, the relay cars are going to do the same thing, if anything's to be seen from it. A lot worse fuel mileage at the Super Speedway, which I honestly didn't really think going in, but it does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah, we're not saving any dolphins right now, virtual or otherwise. Okay, coming back to the green flag, we'll have about 30... Well, that's not right. 45 laps to go. Thank you, Matt. 45 to go when we get back to the green flag. So
and a very close fuel picture.
That's going to be close.
Yeah, I'd say in the 83, I don't think they can make it at all. I think they're going to be at least somewhat short unless they do a hell of a lot of saving.
They have to go 25 laps each run.
And everyone else behind, they got a shot, but again, they also have to be careful and make sure they save. I definitely think if you're the leader of the pack, you don't want to be the leader because you're going to be burning up a lot more fuel compared to everyone else.
So a quintet of Chevys up front, then a Toyota and Ford and a Toyota Ford. They're all swapping around right now under yellow, but those Chevys up front looking strong, coming back to the green flag. 45 laps to go. And we have yet to really see anybody dominate this. I'd say the 6 and the 48, probably the best cars in the field, minus the 54, but it looks like Matt Grunberg is now 1 lap down in 30 seconds, so he's got some work to do. Green flag flies once again. We're racing again at Daytona. 45 to go. Lafferty is out to a big jump. Dave Hunt not on his bumper, but I can tell you who is on the bumper. That's Tanner Sharp shoving the 83 of Thomas down into turn number 1.
Yeah, he wants him to go. And you can see he's not taking no for an answer. Sharp pushing the 83 up into the lead. And I'm curious if Sharp's going to try to jump on the outside lane and get around the 83.
Wow, he's being really aggressive to the outside. A great move right in front of Lafferty. Look at the 3 of Tanner Sharp make that move. Lafferty going to try to split him 3 wide for a moment. No, we'll tuck back in line.
Great move by Tanner Sharp, getting himself up into the lead already. Fantastic driving out of him. He tucks down to the inside. Lafferty getting a run on the outside. Who's going to lead this lap?
Wiggling and sliding all over the place. Look at the 48 change lanes to get up in front of Rusty Webb and get behind his teammate, the 6 car, Levi Zielinski.
Yeah, Lafferty with a great run off the corner, pushed by the 53 of Hunt. He's going to take the lead back, and now here comes Hunt with a push from Wilson on the outside.
Look at David Wilson. Where did he come from in the 39? He started all the way back in 15th place. He won the Talladega Clash from 10th on the white flag lap. Don't count him out. He's riding right behind Dave Hunt in the 53, who was great in the Driver Development Series, looking for his first victory. He's sitting in 3rd place right now, but that inside row has the 8 car and the 3 kind of running nose to tail as tight as they can. And just behind, I see another car popping into picture. That's the 5 of Sam Close and the 3OG Racing car right behind teammate Paul Ross.
Yeah, those guys have slowly moved their way back to the front. They got a little bit disjointed in the middle part of this race, but here they are back up now, approaching 100 laps to go.
100 laps to go?
Sorry, 100 miles left to go.
I was going to say, I was like, where are you? I mean, that was the start of the race. Tanner Sharp has been so aggressive. I love the moves he's been making tonight. Jumps up right in front of Dave Hunt again. And I think he's going to have a lot of friends because he's been so fast tonight. Rusty Webb kind of slipping and sliding. Luis Almaso in the bright green GoDaddy car in the background. He's been lurking tonight. Hasn't found himself up towards the front, but I think that's by design.
Yeah, and again, I mean, really, you don't need to be up there in front until the last few laps. Everything else is kind of getting yourself in a position for it. So there's something to be said about being quiet, playing it safe here, especially the guys towards the back. Speaking of which, how about Chad Frankel? He's back in 18th, up in this lead pack. Remember, we saw him have a spin off in pit road. He's got that car, I mean, it wasn't really that much damage in the first place, but here he started in 33rd, up in 17th right now.
Bit of a checkup on the inside row. There's Dylan Hickey in the one car. Another driver we haven't really seen crack much of the top 10 tonight, but again, lurking for later. I think they thought they'd see more carnage tonight. We haven't had that be the case. We've only had one three-car incident slow the pace of this race other than the stage caution.
And also Cameron Richku in 22nd. Remember, he was a lap down for most of this race. Here he is now just outside the top 20. I'm sure he's going to try to get up to the field through the field as soon as he can.
And Liam Sheen and Chuck Sweeting in 20th and 21st. They were up front earlier in the race. I think they just got back there on strategy calls. Don't count them out just yet. They still have clean cars racing to the end. And look at Zielinski now. He's got help from, looks like that is teammate Nathan Velez riding right behind him. They're on the inside row. They've been on the outside all night. Caution flying. We got an issue in the back. Liam Sheen.
Oh,
man.
just as we were talking about
Commentator curse.
Yeah, it looks like he got involved with Brent Miller and Corey Lindsay as well.
Race Clark all the way down in turn number 1. Liam Sheen driving over the curbing down there at the exit of the sports car course and over the bump. Some damage to the left rear of that car, and we'll see how this transpired. Oh, whoa. Wade Lear. Wow, look at this. This is a kind of a big accident back here.
Yeah,
not severe, but just large.
Oh, yeah, big checkup on the inside lane.
And there's those, is that the 00 and the 89? And there's Race Clark. Did Race Clark miss that? He did. Wow, heads up driving. And good on him to slow down, too, because big bumps here.
Yeah.
Whoa! Here, let's get another view of that.
Almost like he was taking the road course.
Yeah, so what? I think it was the 11 of Wade Lear.
Yeah, he checked off the back bumper of the 15. Yeah, let's just right on board here.
Oh, big step on the 15, and then that's what caused that issue there. And the 51 gets turned by the Blurry car and Brent Miller. And so that's just a common stack-up. We'll look at it from maybe chopper cam here to get a better idea of how this stack-up started. But he was following the 15 of Frankenfield, the 1 of Dylan Hickey, and the 46. It actually starts way up with Chad Brown.
There. Then you see hand
46,
check up.
Yep, just a chain reaction there. That's where the 51, and there's the 00 get hard.
Whoa,
Tate Lytle, did you see that?
Wow, yeah.
Holy cow.
Big wiggle out of him, but was able to avoid that. Narrowly avoided that.
We gotta watch. This is an incredible job by Tate Lytle. Here he is in the 56.
Yeah, talk about heads up driving. Great job by the 56. Easily could have been involved in this. Immediately got on the brakes.
This. Wow.
Picked the right lane.
I'll say. Incredible job there by the 56. He's back in it. And what's the... No one coming to pit road, it looks like, Vinian. Guess about that one. I would have thought we would have seen the whole field come down.
I'm surprised we didn't see the 8 and the 83 come down. Because they were a little bit short. Everyone else, not too surprised, because you are able to save you could save a decent amount just going through these laps under caution.
I'm actually not that surprised they didn't pit, because this caution is only going to help them. I mean,
right.
They still have a long way to save, but this is only going to help their case. I bet you right now if we go on board. Oh, he's actually not saving. They must feel pretty confident then. Those are both the JTR cars. Maybe they know something we don't. So, you know who also benefited from this was Matt Grunberg in the 54, who was able to avoid the crash, and he'll get his lap back.
Yeah, he's gotten a second win, and that'll put every car on the track on the lead lap.
But we do have, looks like 6 retirements. Jonathan Cogswell in the 27, Frank Sims in the 75, Jordan McKeeboy in the 21, Mike Stevens in the 63, Stephen Kettman in the 20, and James Simmons in the 84, all DNF'd here tonight. The first round of 2019 in the 2019 3WideRacing League RaceKings Cup Series. That was a mouthful. Dave Hunt leads here at Daytona. Great job for him tonight. He's been up front most of the evening. Oh, Paul Ross and the 3OG guys. Them Close is behind here as well. Look at the 6 car down on the 8.
Right on board with them.
Riding down there maybe for fun?
Nope.
Nope.
I was going to say.
Taking the shorter way around, so he's saving fuel.
Which, yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, honestly, if you're this kind of close to the line, you might as well say there's no reason not to.
I'm just surprised that not everyone's saving fuel. I mean,
yeah, I would
personally, I don't care if it matters or not. Just for entertainment purposes, yeah. I'll just shut the car off and coast around and push the clutch in, throw it into neutral, anything. I mean,
yeah, I get very bored under caution.
Just do it. I mean, it's like it doesn't take that much effort to save, and it can only help you. I think the only danger you face is if you can't get the car restarted for any reason. But there's also, I think there's also a misconception. I think a lot of people coast in neutral, and little known fact, coasting in neutral doesn't really help you as much as coasting in gear does, because when you if you turn the car off and then you're in neutral, you're fine. But if you coast in neutral, the engine has to keep itself running. It has to feed the car with fuel. If you are coasting in gear, the wheels are turning the engine. You don't have to worry about feeding it fuel. So that's just a little something I picked up. But usually you just shut the car off. So Corey Lindsay is now the only car 1 lap down. Again, suffering from the paint scheme issues we're having tonight. But Kevin Giadersic, he's also going to be lined up right behind his teammate for the restart. That strategy got them, well, it got the 42 stage points, but not the 54.
Yeah, Giadersic is just running in 15th. He dropped all the way back here. I think because Grunberg, he's going to have an EOL for getting the lucky dog. So he's there, so they're going to be able to find each other. And I think he did this to hook up with him.
Well, he also just took fuel on a pit stop, so a bad idea here.
Yeah, and again, so we know that definitely Giadersic is good to the end. Everyone else,
well, everyone one more stop.
Yeah, on one more stop, but everyone else still somewhat. Although I feel more confident in most of the field, save for again in the 83. But although again, like you were saying, at this point they should be pretty close to where they need to be.
We've done 63 laps so far tonight in the 2019 RaceKings Cup Series season opener, the Daytona 250. And it's been a good one so far. We've had 3 cautions slow the pace, 2 of them for incidents, 1 for a stage caution. And this season runs from April till November, and every single event will be broadcast live on Sim TV. Got a couple of guys coming down pit road, and it's Brandon Klustruce and Liam Sheen. Actually, no, not Liam Sheen, excuse me. Brett Miller in the 89. Chuck Sweeting has also come down to pit. So lining back up for the restart, and David Wilson in the 39. He's been looking really racy tonight as well. Bit of splitter damage, doesn't seem to be hurting his performance at all. Paul Ross, 3OG car, he's lined up with his teammate Sam Close on the inside lane. They're going to be a duo to probably beat later. And the duo, the 6 and the 48 in the outside lane. Walensky and Velez, who have been up front all evening, pushing and shoving extremely hard and making a lot of progress doing.
Yeah, and I mean, they still got a little ways to go. They got to get themselves back up in the front. They're still toward the front, but admired a few lanes back. I'm sure they're going to want to be the guys leading up here, but they've got a lot of competition now, especially in these closing laps.
Okay, we're going to have 36 laps to go at the restart here, Finian, so 1 more stop should get these guys to the end. This caution was an opportunity to save fuel for some, so Giadersic is the only car, well, actually that's not really true anymore. There's a couple other cars that came to pit road. Okay, so the cars that can go for sure, actually from 15th on back, can go 1 stop to the end for sure. Everyone else, it's a bit close, but they should be able to do it with this caution. So out of turn number 4, the Ford FR500 pace car is going to pull off the racetrack, leading Dave Hunt, Richard Lafferty, David Wilson, Johnny Thomas, and Paul Ross through top 5 to bring them back down to the green flag with 36 laps to go. And they're off again, green flag again.
Green flag back out, 53 going to lead them down.
And the JTR boys in the outside lane.
And Paul Ross looked like he was tempted to go 3 wide middle there. Gonna stay on the bottom side again, and you can see a lot of teammate pairs hooked up here and potentially have the shot at going forward.
I think the patience that these drivers have is going to get used up in the next 15 to 20 laps, and after that, all bets are off. Down the back straightaway now, the outside lane, Richard Lafferty and Johnny Thomas pushing hard, still not quite in front of Dave Hunt just yet, though. The 53 continues to lead with help from the 39 of Wilson in the Twitch car on the inside row. And Luis Samasso in the number 4 GoDaddy car riding around in 11th. We haven't talked a whole lot about him yet tonight, but he's been lurking, like I said before, and he's in a good spot here.
Yeah, he's sitting in a great spot, started in 36 all the way up in the 12th, and potentially even more. We've seen him slowly creep his way up through the field as this night has gone on. And we still have another pit stop sequence to go through, so he still might play it out a little bit quiet until that comes, and then after that, throw everything at the wall. I'm
just watching the checkups here. We've seen it happen a couple times, even on this one lap we've had since the restart. As we get down to the corners, everyone's got such these huge runs that they get with this new package. They start stacking up in the corners, and it just propagates back through the field like a slinky. They get down to the corner, and all of a sudden you're slamming on the brakes at Daytona, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's just like LA traffic. And we saw what happened with Liam Sheen, Brent Miller, and Corey Lindsey. It goes bad very quickly.
You see ahead of them, Rusty Webb in the 88, having a great night so far.
He's just been riding. He's been around the front, hasn't led the race yet, but he's been awful close to it a couple times.
They're right in behind his teammates, and they're all 4 of them there for 3OG, Paul Ross, Rusty Webb, Luis Almaso, and am I forgetting there, Sam Close in the 5.
22 lead changes here in 67 laps. That's about a lead change every 3 laps. Which is awful good, especially in comparison to the last drafting package we had. We might see 1 or 2 the entire race, but out of turn number 4 now, Dave Hunt continues to lead. A good job that he's been doing to keep this spot. I'm surprised Zielinski and Velez aren't pushing as hard as they have before, but they're kind of stuck. They're boxed in right now.
Yeah, I think they figure it better not to force the issue. Yeah, what on earth happened to him?
Might not have caught back up to speed. He had come to pit road prior to the restart. He's going to find himself a lap down once again, so that free pass all for naught here. That's a real shame.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, really surprised at what happened there. That's not going to help him at all, and again, we're running out of time for the chance of having a caution come out, so he's going to have his fingers crossed that something helps him out.
And we have so many cars on the lead lap that you know, even if you get back on the lead lap with 10 to go, it's not like you're just going to be able to drive through it. Yeah. It's a wall of cars. Look at all these things. You can't just drive through here. I mean, you can get real creative and Kyle Busch to restart and drive around the outside like we saw Grunberg do last night, but I mean, barring that kind of situation, you're going to have a really difficult time climbing your way through the field. I think you got to be within the top 10 or 15, not because you can't get there physically, it's just because there's cars in your way. I mean, you can have the draft, you could do it if there were fewer cars, but too many cars, not enough places to go.
Yeah, and that also really hurt Jed to put himself back there, although he's currently running in 23rd, so he's still well within the mix.
Ooh, the hood kind of crinkled up on the 39. Doesn't seem to be hurting him. We mentioned his splitter damage before, but I can imagine this car wouldn't be quite as strong if it was leading this pack, although I hadn't noticed aero damage being quite as sensitive with this new package as it has been in the past, but I guess I haven't really tested it much either. See how that works out. The 83 and 8 pushing hard on the outside lane, though, and Zielinski now kind of closing that gap between their bumpers.
Yeah, I mean, looks like they're starting to push just a little bit here, but again, just being cautious enough not to force the issue, not potentially cause a big wreck that'll take out half the field.
And about 10 laps away from the final pit stop as well. Just take a look at our lap sims pit for the leaders. Ooh, it's going to be less than that. How are they going to make this?
Well, a lot of those laps were put under caution.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, I think, so they're going to have to go to make it to the end. They're going to have to hit around lap 77. 76, yeah, they're on lap 77 plus or minus a lap there.
So less than 10 laps to go, maybe more like 6 to 7 before those pit stops go underway. Kyle Hanshaw, that 46, he's been lurking. We talked about him a little bit earlier tonight, but riding around in 13th place right now, and he's certainly going to be one to reckon with this season at specific racetracks, but what a way it would be to start his season off strong here.
He's another strong car that's been up toward the front consistently here tonight inside the top 15. Hasn't really fallen out much of it. Started in 26, but has moved himself up to the front. And now we'll see. He's kind of stuck in traffic and not really many places to go for him, but having a solid run in 12th.
There's Frankenfield in the 14th spot right behind Kyle Hanshaw. We mentioned his problems earlier this evening getting turned on pit road, and he's managed to recover from that, but still has some work to do to get back where he was running earlier in the night. But Richard Lafferty is starting to pull ahead in that outside lane with help from Johnny Thomas. We have less than 30 laps to go. Pit stops in about 5 laps. Now, what if you're the 42 of Giadricic right now, and you're sitting in 26 at the tail end of this pack? You've got a couple more laps of fuel than everybody else. But we know these leaders are going to be close on fuel, so you do stay out and risk being the only one out there, or do you have to just force to come with them?
If you notice a few rows on the outside lane, there's his teammate lap down, but you can still work with him. And you actually see Grunberg, I think he's trying to fall back, find Giadricic before the pit stop start.
And you heard Giadricic get out of the throttle. I think he's about to let this 54 into line. He's got a couple. That's Kluster, who's in the 94, and Brent Miller in the 89. He's got to let on in. Actually, that's Eisenman in the 77 right now.
So let's see. Yeah, and there you see him opening up the hole or trying to.
Not going to be able to do it. I think you'll see the 54 drop in behind, though. This might get broken up by the 94, and it does.
Yeah, well, at least they're within one car, within a few car lengths of each other, so they're relatively close to each other. But yeah, so they're going to hook up, and they're, again, going to be on their, or potentially going to be on their own strategy. Unfortunately, the 54 can't take part in it entirely, but he can definitely help out his teammate in the 42.
Lee Machines actually recovered quite nicely from that incident. He didn't really sustain a ton of damage in that crash, and he's riding around in 22nd right now. The nose of that thing's relatively clean, so he might have an opportunity to get himself back up into the top 10 a bit later. So keep an eye on that 51 as we head back over to the front. It looks like Lafferty has dropped to the inside lane in front of Dave Hunt. That leaves Johnny Thomas and Levi Zielinski, and I know exactly what's about to happen here. The 6 and the 48 are going to blow right by this 83 once they get teamed up.
So let's see what happens. There you see a lap car going by. I think that's Corey Lindsay.
Yep, that is Corey Lindsay, the 00. Waiting for the 6 and the 48 to team up and get by the 83. I know what's going to happen. I'm just questioning when.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to persuade Johnny Thomas to go down to the inside.
Yeah, they'll probably just shove him clear, and then once he's clear, he'll probably choose to go down there on his own merit. 26 laps to go here at Daytona. We got one pit stop left to make.
Up, and there goes Johnny Thomas to the inside. Now let's open the door for the 6 and the 40. Let's see what they can do on the outside.
I'm actually a bit surprised that Johnny Thomas did that, maybe anticipating the pit stops, but I would have thought you want to stay in the outside to prevent those teammates from working together.
And actually, speaking of teammates, one guy who left his teammates is Luis Almaso. He's jumped up behind the 48. He's third on the outside lane there in that bright green car.
Les following closely to his teammate Levi Zielinski as they make their way out of turn number 4. The inside lane beginning to pull them a bit. When do we see those final pit stops? It'll probably be the next 2 to 5 laps.
Yeah, they're going to need to go. I think they're going to need to go at least 2 more to make it in. If they can only go 1 more, it's going to be kind of close on fuel. 75%
mark here at Daytona. 25 laps to go in this race to start off the season. So far, it's been the Levi Zielinski and Nathan Velez show with the JTR guys, and you can throw Grunberg in there early, but he's had issues and is now 1 lap down in 31st place. But still, drag racing down the back straightaway between these two teams.
They see the push from the 48 to the 6. They're trying to get ahead of everyone else on the outside lane.
Finding the banking off in turn number 3 goes Zielinski. He noses ahead, not quite clear. I don't even think he'd pull down if he was clear. These teammates have been working so well together. I don't see them splitting each other up. When will we see those pit stops again?
And it looks like no one's coming down that time through, so everyone's going to be able to go another lap. So they should be good, albeit a little bit close.
Surprise. Okay, so I think we're going to see the 6 and 48 pit either this time or next time. They're actually, they got separated here, Finney, and they're going to get shoved on through, so they're going to be side by side. That's not how they wanted this to work out, so they got to get snookered there.
And you're going to see a lot of chaos now as everyone's trying to potentially go to the inside lane to try to pit. Some guys are going to be caught on the outside, and it's a whole lot of negotiating here
this is a
for
mess.
These drivers.
We had such neat lanes a minute ago.
3 wide midfield also. Some guys trying to go to the back, again, just sorting each other out. I expect almost all the cars on that inside lane to start pitting.
Chuck Sweeting kind of lurking back here as well, but now the 48 is in the inside lane. Here comes the 83, and I expect his JTR teammate Lafferty come with him. He slipped.
So not that many coming through there.
The 8 car's in really hot. Does he get it blown down? Looks like he does.
All right, so these guys were able to go quite a bit here. So on 22, I think they should be pretty good without much concern.
Yeah, so if they've gone, let's see here. They've gone 25 laps, they're sure good to the end. I know they had some caution laps to help, but I got to imagine they're good at this point. What? The 48 keeps going up the racetrack. I think the 6 is trying to coax him over. There he goes.
I think they're trying to keep people from going on the outside of them. I don't know. Well, we'll see how many takers they're going to have this time through.
Coming back to the pit in. Who's going to pit this time? Here comes the 53 of Hunt.
No one else.
No, he might be in trouble.
He's gonna have to hope. Yeah, he's gonna have to hope for a really good pit stop cycle so he can end up ahead of the 8 and the 83. Otherwise, he's gonna get really caught out.
If these guys end up crash, he's in great spot though. So maybe that was on purpose. Pit ahead of everyone. Hope the caution comes out when they all get to each other coming to pit road. That's a possibility. Coming up on 20 laps to go, they're for sure good on fuel to the end now. And now it's just a matter of who pits when, because I don't think you can get a field of 20 cars down there without something happening.
Yeah, and we'll see this time too. I'm actually I really am curious now how much they can go further on this tank.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point, does it? I mean,
well, I'm just curious how long they're going to stay out before coming down in.
Here they come.
Here come a lot of takers this time through. Oh boy, wow,
Hanshaw did a great job.
Yeah, almost got into Luis Almaso, but did a great job not doing so.
So those guys get on down and they're good to go. So Masso will take over the lead. 3 wide here. There's the 3OG cars and add the 15 car into that mix, and he's middle 3 wide with it. That's Drew Eisenman in the 77 up top.
Yeah, these guys now trying to sort themselves out, get ready for their pit stop cycle. 3OG on the bottom leading there.
And all 4 cars there on the inside?
Yep.
Nice. They got that planned out.
Yeah, they're all hooked up there on the bottom now. Will they come down this time through?
I have to imagine this is the perfect time when you have all your teammates together like this on the bottom. That doesn't happen a whole lot, and we'll probably see them peel off. Here they come.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, Frankfield almost got completely clobbered by Tanner Sharp.
Yep, and they make it down okay, so they're good to go. And but they've actually done this quite cleanly. So the 53 is going to be in trouble now that he didn't get the caution he was looking for. Richard Hines takes over lead, Chuck Sweeting in second, and now this is kind of a mix and match of different teams. I don't know if this will be quite as coordinated as we had before.
No, neither. Still fighting a little bit, although relatively hooked up to each other.
And all those black cars in one shot. Like they're racing shadows.
The ghost car. And there you see Chuck Sweeting there leading on the outside lane, but Hines is going to come to on the bottom. Who else is going to come in?
I wonder if it's a problem with the Camaros specifically, because it's only the Camaros.
I've noticed it being only with the Camaros. Not sure that has anything to do with it, but Richard Hines comes down by himself, and a little bit hot too. So 8 cars still out on the track, leading. Everyone else has come down, made their final pit stop of the night.
Just moved by on the inside. Looked like it.
Oh, might have got him speeding penalty. Tough break for him.
Yes, and it was. That is going to hurt. Yes. 42, and this is not the first time he's had pit road problems.
Yeah, it's a tough race for Wenson in general, with McKeevoy getting taken out on a wreck, and then the 42 and 54 running into problems. It's not helped there at all.
Okay, well, Rich and Eisenman, I promise you that's the 17 and 77. You're gonna have to take my word for it. Here they come. Nope, they're gonna stay out of that.
Okay, so still continuing on. Let's look at the rest of the field that's kind of found each other. You see Paul Raw. It looks like he's leading that charge. Actually, they
Sam Close leading that.
Oh, sorry. It's Sam Close, then Paul Ross, then Luis Almaso,
and Rusty Webb. So they played that out perfectly.
Yeah. And
whoa, look at this mess out of turn 2.
Yeah, and there's the rest of the field in behind them.
And Zielinski and Velez pushing and shoving.
Wilson 3 wide through the middle, trying to navigate through this traffic, and he does a great job going through there, and he's going to be leading the outside lane once they catch the leaders once these guys cycle out here.
The 3OG cars have gotten the lead away from this pack, but there's Wade Lear and the 39 of Wilson. He's got help from the 8 car. Pushing, shoving. Careful, guys, here coming to 17 to go.
Yeah, the leaders still have not come down a pit road. They're still out there.
And this is making me nervous.
Yeah, these guys trying to get to the front here. And Lear doing a great job. Lear and Wilson doing a great job moving up to the front. I'm curious now what Sam Close is going to do. I think he thought about going to the outside lane, can't get it done. Lear's going to have a big run down the back straightaway.
With help from the 39 of David Wilson and Lafferty behind, they're drawing dead even now. I'm going to make the assumption that this will probably be the battle for the lead when everything cycles out with how fast these guys have been going the last couple laps. There's the Johnny Thomas machine on the outside, the left-hand side of your screen, right in front of Liam Sheen. Where are the leaders and when will they pit? We haven't seen them come down to pit road yet. I'm amazed they managed to go this far on fuel. Oh, I guess they pitted later, so they were good for a while. Now Lear's going to get a great launch out of turn 2, riding down the banking.
You see Wilson giving a nice push to the 11. I'm curious what Lear's going to do if he gets clear of Sam Close. Will he go to the bottom?
You got to be careful with that bumper, though. If we ride on board David Wilson, you see the damage. That is going to be so hard to push straight without hooking him into the fence, and we've seen that be a problem before, including last night's race. So Wilson's got to have extreme patience here not to hook this 11, but at some point you're going to have to ditch him and just go around. Caution! Caution on the racetrack. And I don't know where it's from. I think it's Todd Smith, the 76 on the front straightaway, and one of the black cars that I believe to be Brent Miller and the 89, and yes, it is. So those cars torn up on the front straightaway. Caution with 15 to go, and that changes everything. Oh, I don't know how to... Oh, they just got together. Just got hooked. That's a pretty simple one there, Finian.
Yeah.
Not much else to say about that. I mean, this is what happens at Daytona. Sometimes you just get hooked.
Oh, yeah, just
around they go.
Well, actually, I'm kind of curious. If you can ride into the cars coming to the pits, I don't know if there is a pit close light.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Or at least if we can see them from the roof, maybe some of the caution indicators on the lap.
Well, we will be able to see it because of the
so watch the start-finish line there.
Do they make it?
Oh!
I don't know how that's going to get treated here, Finian.
Yeah.
I don't really know how iRacing handles that, to be totally honest with you.
I'm pretty sure that's close pit entry.
And at that point, you're committed. And this is a problem in NASCAR in real life, so
yeah.
I'm surprised that it's a problem here. But these guys that stayed out, I don't know, they're not in a great predicament either because the other guys behind did not go a lap down, and they have to pit and give up all this track position. This will give the lead to, I assume, Sam Close in the 5.
And you see him just able to pass all these guys that stayed out because they all got EOLs there for pitting under closed pits, and tough break for them.
I would show the penalty graphic, but nah, it's too many cars.
That's a lot of cars.
So EOLs for the guys, and that's just an unfortunate circumstance. When you come down to pit lane, the caution comes out right before you hit that line.
Yeah.
You're going to be in trouble. So, and that's just...
yeah, and it sucks too, because if that caution happened 5 seconds later, most of them would have gone through.
And there's always the argument, well, there's got to be a grace period. Yes, but where do you draw the line there? Yeah. That's even more an arbitrary point than a line drawn on the pavement. So, as frustrating as that is, that's how, that's... First of all, it's iRacing race control, so you can't fight it.
I was gonna say, in real life, you can definitely have a lot more leeway, but yeah, in this you can't.
Yeah, it's either or.
And if the admins, even if they wanted to clear it, they can't, because once an EOL is given out, you can't clear it.
Right. So those guys that tried to come to pit road, they did not make it before the caution flew. So horrible timing there for that to happen. But 14 to go now, and we've kind of shaken up the running order. So the 3OG cars, Sam Close, Paul Ross, Luis Amasso, Rusty Webb, they're in great shape here, all within the top 7. Lafferty, Wade Lear, David Wilson kind of splitting up that party. Then Levi Zielinski and Nathan Velez, 9th and 8th respectively. They've been aggressive all night, and the guy I have to feel for is Tanner Sharp in the 3. He was starting at 11, so not horrible, but he's been probably one of the most aggressive drivers, probably the most aggressive driver all night.
Well, we're gonna have a little more than 10 laps to go when we get the green flag.
Enough time to get there, but he's gonna have to work hard.
I was gonna say he's gonna definitely show his aggressiveness if he wants to try to win this race here.
Okay, I'm out of breath. Gotta take a moment here. Take a look at our race information. 4 cautions for 11 laps, 35 lead changes, Finian. Wow. In 88 laps, so that's almost 36.
And I feel like we're going to see a few more here before the race is over.
I think that's a pretty accurate assessment.
Sam Close, Paul Ross, Wade Lear, Dave Wilson, Luis Almasa, your top 5, and notably 2 3OG, 3 of those top 5 positions, having a great run here to the front. And hopefully it stays like that, because we've seen in the closing laps that the front order typically doesn't stay the front order for too long.
Yeah, and I would grab someone to talk to, but this is strategizing time here. And if this was any other racetrack, I would absolutely talk to somebody. But now it's strategy time. The teammates are going to work together, and it becomes, as I always say, it becomes a chess match now. It's no longer driving a race car. I mean, that's the process, but what's going on inside your brain, what's making the decisions, is all strategy here. And how you play your moves is how you get yourself into position to win one of these things and to get yourself a trophy early in the season. So it's no laughing matter. These guys are going to go to work here the next couple minutes, figure out where they want to place their cars, who they're going to want to work with, who they don't want to work with, and I'm looking square at the rear end of the 11. 5-5 of Luis Almaso. I'm going to be lining up behind that 11 car. I don't want to be pushing him, so I think you'll see Almaso be pretty aggressive trying to get around that car to avoid hooking that rear bumper.
Yeah, and he's also got to find a way to get around that 11 car and in behind his teammates, so that way they can control the race. Also, same thing for Rusty Webb too. He's going to be starting in behind Luis Almaso, so they're going to have to try to find their way up to the front to join their teammates and then duke it out from there between those four.
The 3OG cars, though, they have not been quite as aggressive pushing as Zielinski and Velez have, or the 83 of Johnny Thomas and Richard Lafferty. They've been pushing, but not nearly to the level of vigor that we've seen elsewhere. I wonder if they'll turn up the wick here or if they'll continue to run that conservative method of drafting just to survive to the end of the race. My predictions here, I think we're going green to the end, and then I think once we get down to 2 to go, I think inside 2 to go, I think we're going to have a caution or end up crashing on the white flag. It just seems like when you abolish that yellow line rule, it's just a chaotic free-for-all in the last lap, and I would hate to be leading the race. I'd want to be about 10th to 12th because I think you're going to pick up a lot of positions there. If you're anywhere inside the top 10, I think you're going to go down the order on the last lap.
Yep, so you see everyone double file up here for what could potentially be the last restart. Although I have my doubts just a little bit. Again, with the way these guys are going to get the restart here, they're all going to be nice and bunched up. Everyone's going to be trying to go for as many positions as they can because it's now down to the wire here.
Okay, so let's just double check some things here, Finian. Cautions tonight have been taking about 5 laps. We will not go green if it's a 1-lap shootout. If it's a 2-lap shootout, a green-white checker will do it. If it's just a 1-lapper, we won't. So if the caution comes out with probably 6 to 5 to go, I would say race over. We won't call it until the checkered flag flies. We've had a habit of not doing that in the past and gotten ourselves into trouble a couple too many times. So the winner is not declared until the checkered flag flies on our end. But if we get to the last lap, the white flag flies, no cautions exist anymore for the sake of racing. Once the leader takes the white flag, you're coming back racing at full speed. Whether you're under power or whether you're upside down is really up to everybody around you. You can only control your fate so much. The season opener for the 2019 RaceKings Cup Series has 11 laps left, and we're green to finish it out.
Yeah, big checkup there on both the inside and outside lanes. Everyone going at different speeds here. There you see Wilson potentially looking to the outside of Paul Ross. Ross not going to let him as they defend off into 1.
Ooh, Lafferty got right up to the rear bumper of the 39. He's going to give a big push, and Paul Ross might get the receiving end of this as well. Now, the question is, does 3OG want to be in control of both lanes, or do they want to pick one and stick with it?
I don't know. It's kind of up to them. Either way can work out, depending on how they're going to do it. And there you see 3 wide. Ooh, Johnny Thomas making a big move to the inside.
And back to the outside. Back to the outside, trying to pick a lane with 3 wide with the 46 in the middle of it. Now he gets sorted out. Liam Sheen trying to make something happen up there. There's the 3 car of Tanner Sharp sitting in 11th right now. He's got to pick a lane to go with, but up front, it's Paul Ross in control. Now it's Sam Close on the inside lane as they make their way to 10 to go.
So far, so good for the 18 and the 5, defending both their lanes. This is exactly what I think they want, at least till the checkered, at least till the white flag comes out.
3OG cars controlling this race. The 39 of Wilson on the outside pushing the 18. The 11 of Wade Lear pushing the 5 on the bottom. Then there's another couple OG cars on the inside lane. That's Luis Almaso and Rusty Webb. On the outside, there is, I believe, that's the 8 car of Richard Lafferty. And that's the 48 of Velez tucked in the line there. And Velez and Zielinski have been separated, Finian, and that's not where you want to be with 10 laps to go. You want to get yourself back in line with your teammate. Now is the time to do that.
Ooh, Wilson slow off the corner there, got into Lafferty. Lafferty gave him a big shove and big checkup on that outside lane.
Watching from overhead. Ooh. Hobbling and wiggling as they come to 9 to go.
You see the 6 of Levi Zielinski there on the bottom, but he disconnected from his teammate, the 48 on the outside lane. They're not able to find each other, and we see once those guys get hooked up, they're a really good pair, but right now they're disjointed.
Out of turn 2 onto the back straightaway now. The runs are going to begin to happen here. Push from the 39 on the 18, push from the 11 on the 5. And then the trio, there's Lafferty giving a push to the 39 and propagating that momentum forward. But it's a dead heat between the 3 OG cars. Now, who's going to break up this fight? Where is the 48 and 6? They got separated. Now, they're going to try to get themselves back together. I just see that happening soon.
That's going to be a tough call to make, and they're going to have to attempt to go 3 wide to try to sort that out.
I think they're going to do that.
Oh, speaking of 3 wide, Lafferty looks to the outside and wasn't able to do anything. He's going to need a run.
Oh, turn! Turn!
Someone gets turned off the nose of the 52.
I thought it was Kloosterhoos.
I think it might have been a lap car.
Oh, it was Kloosterhoos.
And what a shame for him.
He returns back to the racetrack.
He's still remaining 3 and 8 laps to go. Now we're starting to approach that dead zone now of if a caution comes out, might be the end, might not be the end. Again, it's all down to where these guys catch the pace car.
The 18 car now with help from the 39, the 5 on the inside row with the 11 of Wade Lear coming to 7 laps to go. Getting down to the end here. Oh, turn! The 88 hard in the fence. Caution out. And a big wad of race cars torn up. And we should get a restart.
Yeah, I think we're lined up to get a restart. And wow, it took out a bunch of race cars there.
And Levi Zielinski all destroyed. There's the 24 of Carlos Acosta involved as well. More carnage. I'm going to give the ATVO a restart here. I'm having trouble getting it to cooperate here. I'm actually going to do that now. So I'm going to restart my broadcasting software. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Alright folks, here's a look at the incident we just saw with the 88 of Rusty Webb. He was kind of in the middle of it, and I'm not exactly sure. I think he started up ahead.
Yeah, started with a check.
Oh no, it was a 3, and Tanner Sharp got into the 6. And that's what triggered the whole thing. And tore up the whole field. This is going to be hard to get a look at. I mean, there's so much going on here, but you can just see, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the whole field got taken out from about 10th on back.
Yeah, 3 tried to go middle 3 wide, but then the hole closed up with him in the middle, and there was nowhere else for anywhere else to go.
Liam Sheen managed to get through that. He's sitting in 10th place right now, so a lot of cars wrecked in that one. We'll do a little bit of a damage report here to see how everyone is doing. We have 5 laps to go, so Paul Ross leads this race. Sam Close second, David Wilson third, Wade Lear fourth, Lafferty fifth. And, all right, let's take a look through the field here. So Eisenman is in good shape. I think Richard Hines got into somebody. That car's destroyed. Yeah. Kevin Giadricic, he's actually through clean. Frankenfield looks okay. Brent Miller's destroyed. So is Race Clark. Carlos Acosta got a piece of it, but he's okay for the most part. Boosterhoos got through it. Bloomberg's fine. Johnny Thomas, I think, has some pretty significant damage. Yep. Colin Hickey, that car's okay. Levi Zielinski, that car is junk.
Yeah, that car is done for the night for the most part.
How about Dave Hunt?
Yeah, he's stuck on pit road fixing his car. He was having a good run, too. There you see Chuck Sweeting fixing his car.
Yeah, Chuck, again, Sim TV curse. That paint scheme. Kevin Finn also destroyed. He was having a good run tonight. Corey Lindsay, I think, is catching back up. He's got some significant damage as well. But Cameron Rich also, yeah, there's just a lot of cars involved in that one. But one driver that got through that we mentioned, it was Liam Sheen, and riding in 10th, and he wasn't even sure he was going to be able to make this race, and he got himself in. He's been putting on a show tonight. Hasn't quite managed to crack the top 5 yet, but lurking. And he's going to have a good shot at it, especially if we see some more accidents here at the end of this race. So we're counting down the laps. Again, we should have about a 2-lap shootout to the end.
Yeah. That should be where we're lining up. I'd be surprised if we do end up finishing this under caution. We're going to have 2 laps to go. If we do go green, it will be the final restart of the race regardless. If caution comes out on the lap we go green, it's going to be race over. We get to the white flag, these guys are going to be able to race it out.
Oh man, I do not want to be in one of these cockpits right now. I feel a lot better up here, not having to make the decisions. But the 3OG cars have played this out perfectly. That almost reminds me of Joe Gibbs Racing, how they just kind of chilled in the rear of the field, stayed out of the mess, and now when it matters the most, they found a way to get their cars up to the front. Now they're only missing one of them, Rusty Webb, getting collected in that incident there.
Yeah, Lewis also a little bit further behind them, stuck in 6th place, so he's going to try to have to find his way up to his friends in the front. Although, again, at this point, I think it's pretty much all bets are off for the most part.
Well, the amount of quality cars has just gone down a lot with all those damaged race cars, so it made their job easier. Again, they have 3 compared to the next best team. I think I'm trying to look and see who else is up here that's got teammates. Not seeing a whole lot.
Yeah, not many.
So, who's your pick here, Finney? I'm taking a good look at Paul Ross and Sam Close, but David Wilson sitting in 3rd. He was our winner at the Talladega Clash. I think he is going to find a way to the front and win this thing.
I think I'm kind of looking at potentially the 8 of Richard Lafferty. You really see him. He's not afraid to make aggressive moves when it counts. He's right now in 5th. He's going to be starting on third car on the inside row. So I think he's going to have a great shot at this.
Okay, we need to get the 1 to green this time through. Go back racing. And we do, thank goodness. Okay.
I was going to say.
That would be a really anticlimactic way to end this race.
Jack Sweden just came out of the pits, fortunately a little bit behind there. He's going to be put a let down.
So the only other teammate pair I can think of up in the front is the 39 and the 64. Chad Brown is back a bit. 9th place. I think they're too far away to get connected here. So the problem is, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but these 3OG cars, if you have a teammate, Finney, would you rather be in control of both lanes, or do you want to be hooked up nose to tail? I would prefer nose to tail.
I would prefer to be hooked up in both lanes because you got more control over what's going on around you. Because again, we've seen that outside lane too, especially, or really either lane, depending on which lane gets a run. Either lane can hook on by you, and once they're already there on the bottom or next to you, your teammate really can't do much except try to just push you with what he's got.
Yeah, I think I'll disagree with just the notion that you can push at least. I think here, if someone splits you 3 wide, then you're out of luck. So I guess we'll see which way works the best here. Is we're gonna have well, no one's really teamed up with their teammates.
I think it's pretty much.
I think it's ever meant for himself at this point, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, I mean, you want to try to you want your teammates finish as high as possible, but for the win at least, I think it's all bets are gonna be off pretty much from here on out.
It's 5 miles to the end of the first round of the 2019 RaceKings Cup Series Daytona 250. We've raced a whole heck of a lot tonight, and 245 to be exact. We have 5 miles left, 2 laps. Figure out who's going to win this first race of the season. Paul Ross in the 18, Sam Close, David Wilson, Wadley, or Richard Lafferty, your top 5 pace cars off. Who's going to win the Daytona 250? Green flag flies again, and the outside lane already slipping and sliding, trying to get up to speed, and the whole field stacking up here as they come to the line. The 42 spins, but we're going to stay green. Paul Ross and Sam Close side by side, caution out, race is over. And a big stack up.
Oh wow, who actually got it between Ross and Close?
I think Ross was ahead.
Oh boy.
But maybe not. They're side by side.
They're still side by side. We can't
I honestly
tell.
don't know who won this race.
This all been sorted each other out.
Well,
looks like it might have been Paul Ross.
Well, it's one of them, I'll tell you that. Anticlimactic way to end the race for sure, but great strategy all night by this team.
And it looks like Close is surrendering.
Well, we're going to find out here when we get in front of the pace car again. we'll go back and look at that crash at the conclusion of this race.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I want to say Paul Ross because he's had the nose ahead the whole time, but honestly, not sure. All right, white flag in the air. See which one gets scored. I go back and look, but by the time we go back and look, the race will be over.
Yeah,
so.
by the time you guys are gonna catch the pace car on the back straightaway here. So
I thought the 5 had a pretty good jump. But
it was really close. I think if we can get
we'll go back and we'll look at the time of caution because I bet you it was within a couple feet. They're not making it easy for us. They know. They're just not letting. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Close is staying in behind him because he's being told to. I think they're just staying side by side to get some cool shots.
So again, the winner is the driver that was ahead at the time of caution. No scoring loop nonsense, no camera nonsense. It's actually, it will be camera nonsense, but it's whoever was ahead at the time of caution and coming back to the checkered flag, waving in the air for the Daytona 250, and it's going to be Paul Ross at the line. And I think that's him in victory lane, and he'll be celebrating with teammate Sam Close.
Yeah, Sam Close finishing in second, Wade Lear third, David Wilson fourth, Luis Almaso will finish in fifth. So three cars in the top 5 for 3OG Racing.
Okay, I feel pretty good about this now. Paul Ross, your winner here, and again, from the disappointment of the Truck Series last season, missing out on the championship there by just a couple spots. He's going to start the season in the Cup Series this year with a victory. And what a strategy they played with the 3OG Racing cars, Finian, staying out of trouble all night. Using themselves, that pit road thing they did, they all came to pit road at one time together. And I told you that at that point, that was a great strategy, and it turned out to be the case. Paul Ross going to victory lane. How about William Sheen getting a top 10, 8th place after all of that? Luis Salmaso coming home in 5th. David Wilson 4th, a great result for him to start the season. Paul Ross, your winner here at Daytona.
Oh, he's getting ready to burn down those tires. Great win for him. Great start off to this season. Again, was a championship contender in the Truck Series and the Cup Series. Missed out on both. But here he is starting off the season strong with a win here at Daytona.
What a burnout.
Yeah.
And no better place to win than at Daytona under the lights. We know he's going to be strong all season. This is not a fluke win for the 18. Burnouts in the grass, nothing like it. All right, we're going to take a moment, and we're going to show you the crash that caused this and then how the 18 won this race. Let's take you back. Okay, so this is coming back to the green flag here. So Paul Ross was the leader coming back to the green flag. And we're going to watch this first, and then we'll go and show you the actual incident. I think David Wilson's onboard will probably be the best way to show this. I don't know if we'll check a couple different angles. I'm not sure that we have a great side-on angle at that point between the start-finish line and turn 1. So we'll do our best here. So you're going to see the pace car pull off here, and you're going to watch on the right-hand side of the screen up against the catch fence there above the white wall. You'll see the caution lights blink yellow. I think we're going to be past the starter stand when this happens, so you won't be able to use the starter stand as reference. The 5 get a great jump. The 18 takes off here. Where's the caution? Right there. So, yeah, so that was pretty close there. Let's go back and check a little bit closer.
I think you might be able to get TV1 on that.
Actually, you know what we should do? We'll ride on board David Wilson again. We'll find the exact moment of caution. I can see the caution lights in the system. Okay, so more time here. Okay, so there's the moment of caution, and now we can flip around.
Oh
here.
Yeah, that is pretty close.
I'm trying to get a better
Try
look
2,
here.
I think.
TV1 is probably best.
There.
So that is your margin of victory, folks. The 18 and the 5 at the top of your screen.
Yeah, got him by a nose.
That's a nose. Let's see what else we can do here. Lear probably had a decent. that's pretty close, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, from that angle, it looks like they're almost tied.
Okay, so now let's go back and we'll take a look at the incident that caused this. And I think this is just a stack up. I'm not exactly sure where it started.
Check around the 52, I believe he got, or actually we saw the 42 Jadricic, he got turned around.
So 52, 64 and 52 checked up, and that's what sent the 42 around. And then these guys behind get collected. That was the 24 in the middle of it. That little 6 came back out of the racetrack. This is where the caution happened right here. There's too many cars to I mean, yeah. This is just going for it at that point, you know. Big stack up, and then just the whole field getting collected and fetched 4 wide. Nowhere to go. Paul Ross, your winner here at Daytona. And here's a look at your race results. 3WideRacing well represented in the top 2. Wade Lear, great result for him in 3rd place. David Wilson, 4th. Luis Almaso, 5th. Lafferty, Hanshaw, Velez, Lytle, and Chad Brown rounding out your top 10. And Velez, 8th place for him. Probably a bit disappointed, though. And Levi Zielinski in the 6th. 31st place after being collected in that previous incident. That's a real rough finish for him. Carlos Acosta comes in with a 15th. That was a pretty good run considering where that car was for most of the night. Liam Sheen scored with 25th at the end. I thought he was scored up higher than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not exactly sure what caused that to be all messed up, but that's how he scored. Thought he got through it, but Levi Zielinski, we mentioned Rusty Webb, the 3OG car with the unlucky part of tonight, and then those DNFs there, Cogswell, Sims, and who else we had here? Cogswell, Sims, Stevens, Ketman, and Simmons, all your DNFs. So we're going to jump to break real quick. We'll grab your winners and a couple others, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to SimTV for the post-race interviews of the 2019 RaceKings Cup Series Daytona 250, the opening round here for the RaceKings Cup Series. We're here now with Liam Sheen, driving the number 51 NZXT car. Liam, I know there was some interesting things that happened around you in those closing laps. You were supposed to be scored, I believe, in 8th place, but now you're scored in 25th. If you want to explain that situation, go ahead and help us out here.
I believe it was because one of the lap cars, or a car that was trying to get back to the field, wasn't finished with the race yet. And after we all took the checkered, we all went past the pit, and then I went down pit road. And I believe, I'm not sure who it was, I think it was a 22 that didn't finish the race yet. So when I went down pit road, I got a black flag for passing the pace car. So I think that sent me all the way back to 25th from 8th. But yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, Liam, I know this was getting into this race was kind of on your mind, and you managed to make the race by a couple spots. You came in here, you performed well, you avoided all the incidents, and finished hopefully in 8th place. So does that feel like a victory to you? I mean, I know you wanted to get into this race so bad, and you definitely put on a performance worthy of talking about.
Yeah, it was really stressful getting in. I was hoping it'd go green and the leaders would sort of take each other out because I didn't have the strongest car at the end. But I was hoping, we'd get to the white flag and then they'd, sort of battle it out and, battle it out a little too hard. So I would, could sneak by and maybe steal a win away. But not really a chartered car, so I'm not competing for points, but I still want to get the position that I earned. So, yeah.
All right, Liam. Well,
I think that
a good result for you, though. How was the drafting package out there for you tonight? I mean, it seemed like it was a lot of fun, a lot more fun than the previous package.
It was a lot more fun, but you couldn't really do anything with the lanes unless you get like a third lane going. But yeah, it was really good for me in my case because if I had that damage with the old package, I'd probably lose the draft and stuff, and I didn't, so that was good, and I was still at pace. So I really liked the the whole draft package and stuff. So yeah.
All right, Liam. Hopefully an 8th place result. I hope things get all sorted out for you. Again, it's still under review, so we're not 100% positive where you'll be scored. But a great race for you either way, Liam. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, see you.
All right, next on the list is going to be, I believe, we're talking to David Wilson, driving the number 39 car. David had a great run tonight, and he's going to end up in 4th place. David, you won the Talladega Clash a few weeks ago, and tonight it was kind of a quiet night around you for the most part, but you managed to get yourself into the top 5 in the closing laps, and walk us through the strategy decisions there at the end.
Well, I planned on racing early on and realized we weren't going anywhere, so then we just kind of fell to the back and waited till halfway to the halfway caution, and had good pit stops and worked my way back up to the front. And there at the end, I was following Paul, and I was trying to push him out front past Sam, hoping he would go down, but I knew he wasn't going to, and he was clear quite a few times, but he wouldn't drop down, and I knew I was going to be just stuck right behind him. But that last caution, I was getting pushed into Paul, and I thought I was going to nail him on the restart. And like I said, I got hit like 3 or 4 times. So I tried to back off of it, and I think that caused a big check up there and caused that last caution maybe.
All right, David, a great way to start the season, though, a top 5. What are your expectations for the rest of the season? I mean, you've obviously come out with a bang here at the super speedways. What do you expect once we start heading to the 1.5 mile tracks?
Not too lucky at those tracks. I'm better at short tracks, maybe even a road course. Maybe a top 5 at a road course, hopefully. But I want to win one. I don't want a gift. I want to earn one. I thought I'd have a chance to get one tonight, but we'll try again.
All right, David, a top 5 for the 39. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you later.
Yeah, guys, thanks.
All right, next up on the list is going to be the 11 driver of Wade Lear. And Wade, a great result for you. You got some rear end damage from an earlier incident in the night, and somehow he managed to hang on, getting bump drafted the rest of the evening, and didn't get yourself hooked on a round. But a 3rd place, does that feel like a victory after all the craziness we saw tonight?
Absolutely, it does. Like, it definitely feels like a victory after all the craziness, and it's a first top 3 for Kitman Lear Racing. So I got to thank all the guys and Kevin and Steve Kitman for the opportunity to kind of make our own team. I gotta thank JTR for all the help throughout the off season and hopefully the rest of the year.
The drafting package tonight, it was a big topic of conversation with the amount of suck up that everyone was experiencing. In that mind, did it make the moves easier to make, or did it make it more difficult because the track was so packed with cars?
If the field was spread out more, it made it easier, but when there was two lines side by side, it was just one in single file on that line. You really couldn't go anywhere. So I feel like it was a combination of both. At times it made it easier, but for the most part, at least if you're in a big pack, you couldn't go anywhere, so it's harder to make a move.
Wade Lear of top 3 in race number 1. Thanks for talking to us, Wade, and we'll see you later. A great run for you tonight.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
All right. And now we'll talk to second place finisher Sam Close, who missed it by, so close, Sam. It was just about a fender when the caution flag flew. Any regrets coming out of here? Or are you pretty happy with that? I'd be pretty happy if I were you, but I know it probably stings a bit to miss it by that much. No mic on you, Sam.
Oh, sorry. You got me?
I got you.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit disappointing, but I've never won one of the super speedway races in this league, and that would have been nice to do. But really, really satisfied overall in how the race went. The teamwork was great, so I don't have any complaints. It's just kind of how it came out, and that last little stint. I think if you had the top and you had a pusher, you probably had the advantage. But it's kind of a good thing that the caution came out there, because me and Paul kind of had too big of a gap on that last restart to the guys behind us, and that might have ran us into some trouble.
You talked about the teamwork. The pit stops were executed perfectly. And was that the plan from the get-go in terms of how to run this race, or was that something you guys came along with throughout the race and just kind of changed things on the fly?
Some of it was planned out. Some of it was on the fly. We definitely practiced pit entry more. After the truck race last night, there were some mistakes there on myself included with that. We practiced that, and we kind of came up with a plan, and then we just kind of went with the flow as far as when we were going to pit. We prioritized the end of the race strategy over getting midway points, which I think helped, halfway points, which helped us out and helped us get to the front. And we executed great coming into the pits those last couple stops. So really proud of all the 3OG guys.
All right, Samuel, a top 5 to start the season, a top 2 rather to start the season. A great result for you. Good luck this season. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the broadcast.
Absolutely, Sam. Now we'll talk to the winner, Paul Ross, driving the number 18 3OG Racing Toyota Camry. Paul, quite the race you had tonight. You guys played it out perfectly amongst the team. That's what Sam was just talking about. But in the closing laps, was it a decision you had to make between going for the win or helping your teammate? Or, I mean, it seemed like restarting side by side with a teammate with 2 laps to go seems like a hellish scenario to me, but you guys played it out perfectly.
Yeah, we were talking. He let me know he was going to be pinching me down. But we had it worked out to where once we came off of 4, the gloves came off and the winner was going to be a winner. If one of us finished 30th, that's what was going to happen. So, but yeah, coming to that restart, I didn't know David was getting pushed into me. I couldn't even feel it on my car. And I took off, and as soon as I hit 3rd gear, I looked in the mirror and saw a huge gap behind me and behind Sam. So I figured we were just going to get 8 alive. And then the caution came out that ended the race.
In terms of the last lap there, I mean, when you see the caution come out, was there a split second where you weren't sure that you had won the race, or did you know immediately looking at the relative?
Well, if I had a pretty good idea that I did. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but Sam and I ran wide open almost all the way coming off at 2 just to make sure, with iRacing having all these little hiccups here and there, I didn't want to give a race up, off of a iRacing issue. So we kept it pinned until we came off of turn 2, and then at that point we knew that it was over.
Winning a race at the start of the season has got to be a huge confidence booster, but super speedways are often crapshoots. I don't think they were tonight, Paul. You guys played the strategy so well, but looking forward to the season, I mean, you got a 4-car team. All those cars capable of winning the championship? Because it sure looked like it tonight.
I definitely think the speed's there. We assembled this team off of friendships, off of skill, off of everything else. It's the same team we came with last year, and there's a reason we all stayed together. We mesh really well. We get info off of one another, and it just drives each one of us harder, trying to beat each other and the other competition. So, this season, with me being locked into the playoffs as long as I can, make all the starts and that kind of stuff, I don't see why we couldn't have 3 or 4 cars in the playoffs once they start.
Paul, a win to start the season, a great way to do it, a great burnout there, by the way, as well. So congratulations on a victory. I bet we're going to see a lot more in the victory circle this season. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck in the next event.
Thanks, and I hope so. You guys have a good night.
You too, Paul. What a race. What a way to start the season. Dramatic ending. Teammates nose to nose as they get that yellow flag in the checkers at the same time. But I think we've seen tonight, I know the drafting package and the crashes took out some of the dominant cars like Levi Zielinski and Corey Lindsay and some other drivers in there. And Rusty Webb was running well as well. But I think we also have a pretty good idea of the guys we have to keep an eye on. I know Paul Ross is going to be good. Sam Close is going to be good. Kyle Hanshaw, a great result tonight as well. Matt Gruenberg, he had trouble, but was also showed his speed early.
Yeah.
So I think we have a pretty good idea of who's going to be quick out of the next race.
Indeed, speaking of our next race, that should be at Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Check that for us. And I believe that's is that next week or is that 2
Texas for the Truck Series, and then Las Vegas for the Cup Series, and yes, in 2 weeks' time, because next week is Easter.
Yes. Okay, so 2 weeks' time, you're going to find us at where'd you just say? Las Vegas. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the 1.5 mile racetrack. And that'll be an even better gauge of how the season's going to go. But drama, we've had crashes. We had over 30, or actually over 40 lead changes by the end of the race. Only a handful of cautions, one of them being a stage break. So great racing to start the season, as always, with the 3WideRacing League RaceKings Cup Series. Again, for those that had paint scheme issues, we'll get those resolved. It's definitely only Camaro related, so we'll try to get that sorted. Probably related to the new templates as well. So apologize for that. Couldn't do anything on my end. We'll get that solved for the next event. But thanks for watching SimTV. The next event you're going to see is the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series race tomorrow at Motegi, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, Scars Ferrari Challenge from Bathurst on Thursday. Friday, Virtual Racing League from Chicagoland. And Saturday, Richmond Racing action with the Outsider Racing League. That's what's coming up the next week. We'll see you there, and have a great night.